And we're live. I've never seen it take that long to go live before. That was like a really excruciatingly long time to wait. Hi, everybody. Welcome to M&M Saving the Comic Industry. That's me, Mike, and M, Matt Weldon. Although I also have the M Miller, so maybe it's M squared.
Teen Wolf Weldon.
So, yeah, we're here, and we're going to save the comic book industry. So, Matt.
Speak to me.
What's wrong with the comic book industry that needs saving?
Well,
you give me the problem.
The problem is right now. I'm part of the problem because I'm trying to dodge all these comic creators that I've been collaborating with over the last year when they're trying to chase after me for my social security number so they can do their taxes this year. So I'm running away from all these texts.
Are you talking about me?
No, I'm talking about me. I'm dodging all these people trying to get there.
Are you talking about dodging me because I sent you a thing?
Did you send me a thing too?
Did I not?
Oh crap! No, I didn't think you did. I got like 3 or 4 things I got to fill out.
I think I sent you one for 2021 and you never sent it back.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, because all those NFTs, dude. Why are you making me pay the taxes on your money?
You don't have to pay the taxes. You just claim it. And then I claim it, and then if they audit you, it all works out. Well, because I didn't sell anything. I didn't so I don't know how that works. So how does that work?
I gave you the money for the stuff that I sold for you.
You gave me crypto.
Right.
Oh, so that counts? I don't know how that works, Mike.
We should probably not talk about this subject on the air.
Oh crap! No, I got 1099s and W9s in my inbox right now.
Although, I mean, to be fair, there's like a certain limitation of how much money I have to send you in order for you to even claim it. I think. I don't know. I'm not an accountant. My accountant deals with all of this stuff to keep me on the straight and narrow, and I have to pay way too much in taxes. So.
No, it's weird. Like people are asking me for my social security number now because they want to do their taxes, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, because you're 1099, dude.
I guess. I don't know how any of that jazz works.
None of that jibba jabba jazz.
Well, yeah. So I'm part of the problem right now, and I'm done. I need to. And then I got a convention I'm trying to get ready for this weekend. So I'm like, I don't want to. I got work to do. I don't want to fill out tax forms. I want to do my taxes. I want to get those sweet kids.
I just did my taxes.
Oh, you did already?
Well, for October, I did my taxes in October for last year.
Oh, you're one of those quarterly cats.
Yes, I hit every extension until I get to October. Then I'm like,
Are you serious?
Yeah, my accountant threatens to fire me every year. She's like, you're going to need to get somebody else to do this next year. Okay, Debbie. Whatever you say.
I'm going to quit you, Mike.
She's my niece's mother, so it's like she's kind of obligated.
Oh my gosh, you got to worry about your kid's wedding coming up soon.
I'm staring at the screen.
Wedding, yes. No, Jeff, I'm not creating more drama again. Would I do that?
Jeffrey.
I would never do that. Hello, Sean. How are you doing? Black and Goldberg. And that's Sean again. LOL, my mother got mad last year because I waited until October. I do it every year, brother. Every year! Forever. Sean wants to know, what 3D assets are you using on that cover, Mr. Weldon?
Well, I should probably venture over to 3D assets because I cannot figure out these legs right now.
Oh my gosh, dude. I just saw somebody using that SketchUp thing, and I'm like, bruh, that's genius. Gotta get me that SketchUp program.
Dude, I'm down with that. I saw one of the coolest 3D buildings.
You can't be afraid of technology, right?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Photoshop was designed for touching up photographs.
I agree.
Everybody uses it for. All right. Black and Goldberg says, Mike, my customer today had a conversation about you and NFTs today. Very nice. Tell us more. I'm gonna actually find if I can see that SketchUp.
Yeah, take me over there. I'll take you. I there's that place I've been. I don't know if you guys remember or if anyone was around all these past years where I've been raving about Sketchfab 3D website. I just I use it for mostly cars and stuff, but I'm
gonna run this without any audio so that
I'm so excited
because it's a tutorial, but boring. All right, what do we got here? Looks like it flying segments. Oh, I'm trying to mute you. Shut up. Okay, this is the boring. I've never looked at this before, so I want the one with the buildings and stuff. Oh, look, a chat.
Oh yeah, give me some buildings that I can just
give me
print out.
Dude, can you imagine if you had to draw a comic book, say in front of the Capitol building, like I did with Magnificent Seven, right?
Oh dang, yeah.
So I had to find photographs to trace because I wasn't gonna, and I did trace them because that's what we do and that's what we've always done as comic book artists. Not every single one of us, and not every single time, but you get crazy things that you need to draw, and you want to get all the details right. I mean, it's still an entire pain in the butt. to do it.
Speaking of, there's this really cool. I mean, what's that monument with the fallen? Is it the fallen soldier? Or I can't remember what it's called. It's just that big square block. It looks like a big coffin.
Oh, the Tomb of the Unknown.
Tomb of the Unknown. There you go. And I just could not find any reference for that. I was praying. I would have loved to have had something to trace over for that.
Oh, well, you could even build. Well, I guess it's designed for architecture, huh? So you could build your own building and then use that. So, all right, dude. Imagine back in the day, it's like, oh man, I need to. John Byrne's been doing this stuff since the '90s.
Oh, dang.
Right? I mean, he's like been so ahead of the curve on this. And then Brandon Peterson uses 3D assets all the freaking time. I've got sketchbooks of his stuff, and he doesn't even. I mean, he literally like prints out the stuff on the computer.
Man, I wish I could remember the name. There was this other really famous artist. I wish that I saw. It was probably a year or two ago online talking about how he was messing around with helicopters and stuff like that, like in the 90s or something. He was on those 3.5. No, it wasn't 3.5. It was one of those big floppies, man. I think big floppy disks. You remember those?
Oh man, like the 7-inch ones, or the.
Yeah.
Black and Goldberg says, I casually mentioned crypto in my conversations, as I usually do in my presentations, and she said, I don't understand crypto and NFTs. I told her about all mine, and that 70% of mine are yours. Awesome. Well, we're going to be launching the Dawn Mafia soon, which is going to be really cool and have some awesome utilities brought to you by Soakverse Labs. So it's the utilities. I'm not just selling a profile picture and then like figuring out utilities. The utilities are coming pre-baked into this NFT collection, and it's the Dawn. So it's going to be great. She told me she just bought a fraction of an actual painting. I told her, welcome to the blockchain. Yes. That's a big thing. So you know how this is annoying me. I can't find a good tutorial. You know what? I'll find one later. But how art, fine art, pop art, even like Andy Warhol kind of art, that's like the one thing that the market never dips. It always goes up, right? But people can't afford to spend $3, $6, $10, $100 million on a piece of fine art, right? To invest. But there are companies that are now fractionalizing through the blockchain ownership of said fine art, and then the original piece gets custodied, like probably at Brinks or maybe even a museum. Who knows?
You trust all
Museums
that?
could totally. Oh my gosh! So museums, if they wanted to, could totally fund themselves by fractionalizing the ownership of the paintings and the sculptures in their museum. This would be like the hugest revenue stream the museum world would ever find, because otherwise that piece of fine art has to be custodied someplace like Brinks in a big safe, right, and kept safe.
Thanks, Skippy. Yeah.
But now you could create this whole new revenue stream for I'll call it an industry, the museum industry, that up until now they've had to beg donations from people to stay open. But now they could just freaking fractionalize everything in the museum and make hundreds of millions of dollars.
I want to fractionalize some Hunter Biden paintings. What do I do?
Fractionalize Hunter Biden
Yeah, I want to
in
get in on
that
that.
in Minecraft.
That's right.
All right,
Well,
you know what? I know I posted this, so I'm gonna find it because I posted it today. I shared this dude. He
on
has a
Twitter?
tutorial. Here we go. I found it. All right, let's take this to YouTube. All right. So I'm just gonna let this run. I'll start where he grabs the skull. Can you?
What'd you say?
Is this
Skull?
not showing?
Can't see anything.
What the hey?
If you when you're done with this, yeah, let me. I'm gonna venture over to Sketchfab too and share some stuff that really helps me out. Whenever I was, I'll show you some cars I drew in Florida Man. It just just looking at a car just for a minute, just looking at some trees, just really makes me level up instantly whenever I go to draw trees in a book or something like that.
Just staring at them, staring at the trees.
Mm-hmm. That's really awesome. See,
I know, right?
Just print that.
Yeah, but he's showing how you can change the different dimensions, and you can change you can
I
turn
wonder
it
if
into
there's an
2-point
extreme perspective button, one where it just really warps the.
Well, no, but you can zoom in and out and
Yeah.
Make the dimension the perspective more dynamic and whatnot. So in a second here, he's going to click it to 2-point perspective, which is going to make the vertical lines all parallel.
Cool. I wonder if you can change the name of that high school. Just whatever you want.
Oh, yeah. What's it? Miami State High School. Yeah, there's 2-point perspective there.
Parallel sign. That's so outrageous.
I mean, gosh dang it. This could have saved me so much bloody time. I mean, I'll be straight with you. So what I used to do, like when I knew I had, well, obviously I knew I had to be doing comics in cities, right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to draw 4,000 window frames per issue, right? So what I did was I drew a handful, I don't know, maybe 3 different cityscapes. Or like one was like a bird's eye view cityscape, and it was like, a page wide, and I drew it, as detailed as I could. And then I did one that was like New York street view, right? And then I don't remember the other one was. But I drew them so big that I could just use sections of those as my backgrounds, and I would just drop those sections into the various backgrounds in my scenes when I did this a lot in DC Universe Online Legends. And it's the way manga artists will use pre-made city zipatone.
Oh,
right?
Dank Skippy, yeah.
Yeah, but I drew it all myself, and then I dropped it all in myself. And my editor never even noticed in that until I pointed it out.
You crafty cat.
Crafty. Yeah,
Yeah, why the heck not?
right? I mean, nobody even pays attention to those backgrounds.
I know, and I like to, whenever I'm sketching out a page, I've been getting better at putting in the dialogue, drawing the dialogue bubbles in, so I don't
Supplies.
put in too much background in certain areas where I know dialogue's going to be. Saves me some headache. I can't tell you how I would have abused that.
Yeah. Who's M&M? Oh, Mike and Matt. Yeah, you have the link, Kevin. If you aren't already in bed,
Is that Senor
pop
Sharp?
on in. Sharpie sharp.
Hey, let's promote tomorrow's show. Are we doing anything in particular?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Can't think
You
of
want
it.
to do You Choose again? I kind of like the You Choose.
Oh yeah. Well, is that what y'all did when I was out? Yes, last week.
Were you out last week?
I love the You Choose. Let's do the You Choose.
Wait, were you out last week?
Well, only if you remember if I was out.
I know you were out one of the weeks. No, you were out the.
Yeah, I was out last. Yeah, I was out last week.
What were you? Really?
Yeah.
Why you never read my messages in Twitter? Oh gosh, where is it?
I'm kind of relieved that you don't remember.
Just hit the sack. Okay. I was watching Elliot draw. Is Elliot still up? I can send him the link.
Get over here. If Elliot's just drawn, we're just drawn. I don't even know why I'm doing this.
Is Elliot still up? I wouldn't even know. Facebook. Okay, I'm gonna go drop Elliot the link.
Elliot's got a
we
channel?
missed the part where they did the zoom. Where they did the zoom in, zoom out. Come on, where is it?
Does Elliot he stream much?
On Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. It's so weird being on Instagram. So many people that used to follow me are starting to follow me again, and now I'm like, oh, guys, I'm gonna delete it as soon as I'm done.
Man. Look at this Storm by Richard Friend.
Talking about
hold on,
John Byrne.
I was on YouTube, so I was on Facebook. So look at Richard Friend just posted this.
Show me.
Yo,
sweet, yikes! That's got to be all digital, huh?
Richard Friend?
Maybe
No,
not.
dude, he's all hand. That's ink washes and inks, and
I have such delusions of doing ink wash one of these days.
Richard is awesome. Jeff says, "Why would you not want people following you again?" What are you talking about?
He's talking about me because I.
Sorry, I wasn't listening to you.
Well, no, because I'm about to delete my Instagram once this Todd McFarlane thing is over.
Oh, because Matt doesn't want to exist on the grid.
I don't know. I was just getting, and honestly, I may just leave it. I may just leave those couple of Spawn drawings up for the foreseeable future and just leave it alone. Just let it die. So many of the people that I know are still not even on there. I was shocked that Metaverse's stock is doing fairly well.
Metaverse?
Yeah.
What metaverse?
The Zuckerberg's metaverse.
Oh, Meta, not Metaverse.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what they call it these.
Hold on.
Catch up to
Here's Elliot.
Comments as I can. So you notice it kind of has like it almost has an old school vibe too, like those old monster movies. That's that one.
It's like he's here with us.
Oh, don't mind.
Elliot.
I love your singing.
Elliot, come stream.
Wait, did you just send me a link?
Us.
Is he talking about you right now?
That's what you're looking for. But I just need your singing while I draw every day. Oh man.
Matty Ice is here.
Yeah, we're warming up for tomorrow. I am.
J Dollar says, I am here.
You know what's funny?
Oh yeah.
My wife and I were starting to visit. Well, we're about to start visiting this church.
Whoa,
Silver
listen to
dollar.
that voice.
Start singing. Katrina's Matty Ice is here. Oh, Matty Ice. All right, give me a little bit, man. I'm gonna wrap this up here.
Bet.
Oh boy.
Um,
I always worry that we keep Elliot up too late some Wednesdays and stuff.
Yeah, and then suddenly he's up
there.
all night on Instagram.
I
Gosh,
don't feel
dang
so
it,
bad.
man. Freaking, I love Richard Friend. He's the coolest guy, nicest guy. And
Oh,
look at his art.
dude, that's who it was. It was Wills Portacio was talking about the old school floppy 3D models on some ancient hardware.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly who it was. Who was talking about tracing helicopters and stuff like that.
Go to Burn Robotics.
Yeah, talking about Burn, I'm about to get my X-Men thing on.
What do you mean?
I'm about to follow in Burn's footsteps. I'm gonna do my own X-Men comic book.
What happened to Burn Robotics? What?
It got canceled, bro.
Go. Burn Robotics is like one of the oldest websites on the internet.
One of the oldest chat rooms from way back in the...
Yeah, he's still got his. Oh, I wrote Ribotics. Maybe that was the problem. Nope, there it is.
Oh crap!
It's so old he never bothered changing it.
What?
It's look at it. It still looks like it's made like in 1997.
Dang, that's pretty crafty though. It almost reminds me of the Superman crystal arrangement where you just pick up one of the crystals.
Pencil scans. All right, let's see.
Gosh.
Let's see.
What a blast from the proverbial past.
Right? It's like legit. This is like exactly how it was designed 30 or 30 years ago. Oh my gosh. It's not just Eminem tonight. It's Eminem.
Oh, sweet crikey.
Holy schmolies. It's a Matt Carson.
Hey, how's it going?
Coming in hot
Hey,
with all the opinions that aren't right.
Dang. The brutality. Let the brutality begin.
The brutality begins now. What's up, Matty?
Hey, how's it going? I'm just gonna fix my camera.
Carry on.
Talk about Haley, Nikki Haley.
Oh,
taking in the old tailpipe there.
No, she's are you kidding me? Did you see all those videos where she was getting all those Democrat
votes?
Yeah, to vote.
Yeah.
Who was it? I think the that caucus that happened last week, they ran out of party switch forms or whatever last week at the Iowa caucus because they were getting all these Democrats to come caucus for anybody but Trump. Yeah, all these party switch forms in all these states, they're running out, and all these people are trying to switch parties in time to come fiddle with it. I don't have a problem with it. I did it in the past. I messed around with the Democrats.
Jeez. Jay Dalla wants in here too. Hold on.
We gotta get out of here.
All right. I guess we'll be talking crypto at some point.
Let Jay Dalla educate us.
Jay Dalla, he's gonna come in here and say, "I told you it was gonna dip."
His show did, man.
It show did. Show enough.
Is it still?
But I mean, we were both right, and we were both wrong because he said it was going to dip, and I said the ETFs were going to pass, and he said the ETFs were not going to pass, and so.
Well, let's try to start off light for when you're gonna. But I don't know. I just need it. I don't know whether or not it's good for it to go up or down. I keep thinking it's good for it to go down for my class action lawsuit or whatever. But I don't know.
Wait, what? Why?
Because so they took a snapshot of all the crypto and when it was really low. And so for some cryptos, I guess if it goes lower, then when you get your crypto back, you'll get it around the time where they snapshot it at a higher price. So a lot of people are depending on the crypto that they were holding, and they're going to get.
But are you getting your crypto back, or are you getting the cash equivalent back?
They honestly, they are still working it out. It's such a mess right now.
All right. Well, if you don't know, then
no, I don't know. I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Because it keeps switching, because the price keeps going, it keeps fluctuating, and then the judges are taking their time, and then the lawyers want their cut, and it's just because they're saying it would probably be better if the crypto was higher, because they're going to have to cash out the crypto to pay the lawyers, and then whatever's left of that we'll get. So that's pretty much a wacky situation.
What's up, Jay?
Hello.
Dr. Money, PhD.
Yes, boss. Well, what happened to that bookshelf, or did you
All right.
angle
So-
your camera?
You were wrong. The ETFs passed.
Dang, Mike, you
Right off the bat, you said I'm going to bring it up.
you're popping your clutch right.
And I mean, I didn't say it wasn't going to dip. I just didn't know. But you are very adamant.
You're right.
that it
We both had a valid argument, but from a charting perspective, mine was right.
would.
And
Yeah.
my
But that's
floors
the
are
thing. You know, it's
Weldon, my floors are getting done and everything, so we're packing up the house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so because our water heater exploded a couple months ago.
No, that's horrible.
like, that happens.
Yeah.
That happens.
I'm gonna have to replace I replaced my water heater when I first moved in. I'm gonna probably have to. It was 10 years ago, and that's about when they go out. I'm about to replace it again.
Oh, geez. I think mine's about 10 years old, too.
Ours
I mean-
was about 8-9 years old, and the thing on the top, like the top seal, is what gave out. So one day, my daughter went to the kitchen. She's like, Dad," and the whole house was flooded
Language.
all the way
Oh
this
no!
way and into their room.
What?
That's like San Diego yesterday. Dude, we got
Oh,
6
man.
inches of. I have a.
We're
fish
about to
tank
get all
out
that rain.
back. Yeah, dude, I have a fish tank out back, and it's got
There's-
6 inches of water in
What?
from just from yesterday.
Oh, it's not an occupied fish tank.
Yeah. I
No,
used to walk to
I,
my apartment doorway. I had to take my shoes off because it was up to my ankles in water.
What?
yeah, my mom's apartment too. It was like she took a video from her. She's on the second floor, but she took a video of around, and it's just all water everywhere.
You see that woman get taken over by the wave in the hotel room? Where the
Oh, I
wave
think I
went
saw
through
that. Yeah.
went through the door, and then
Just took that door out, man.
and then all of a sudden she's gone. Like,
Oh man,
Yeah, I mean, it made like did just demolish those doors. So I can't imagine how wounded that chick was.
we're about to get all that rain you got tomorrow.
you can
going
have it.
into Saturday.
Yeah, our the boys' Muay Thai studio got flooded. That whole area across from where I live, it's like I'm on the
Whoa,
hill.
Mike, don't do that. No.
No, that's my left hand. We don't. No.
Oh crap!
Oh, no!
Oh crap! Oh no! No, change the subject. I had a bunch of.
Okay, tell me who was on the list. Who was on the list, J Dollar?
The list.
The list. The
Talking
list.
You talking about that kind of list? I saw some cool pictures of some journalist lady taking a bath and
Why are you looking at journalists taking baths?
On the subject of the Fuhrer, she was taking the bath in the Fuhrer's apartment on the day he supposedly took his life.
Okay.
No,
All
he
right.
didn't.
First of all, Hitler did not take his life.
He didn't.
I just wanted to get Mike
Argentina.
to tell me about the Antarctica story.
The Swiss are far too clever to let someone like that die. There's no way. There's no way.
No, they went to Argentina. They started.
Oh, that's where it
just
was,
the
Argentina.
Fourth Reich in South America, and they got very close without us paying enough attention to realize that
You
we
kid-
could have been nuked from
Mike.
the
No, I think the
He
Swiss
took the bell, he took the Glocka, and they teleported to the future. All right.
No, you're crazy.
Now you're just being stupid.
Well, one of his generals did. I don't think Hitler did, but one of his generals
No, he did, dude.
took the
Freaking.
bell.
Go to
I
the
think
future.
I think it
Yeah,
was
you ever heard about that?
700,000. Not to the future. They all went to Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil,
Where all the minerals were.
Chile. Oh my gosh, there was a whole chain of what do you call those
Well,
places?
look
Camps,
at the
basically
railroad
camps
expansion of
in Chile.
South. Look at the
How come
railroad
you can't let me
expansion.
finish a point, J
I'm
Dollar?
sorry, because
I'm like in the
I
middle of
thought
an anecdote, and you
We
always
thought you
just
were
cut
finished,
in.
Mike. He was trying to
I
just
thought you
keep
were
I was in
it
the middle of
flowing.
this. How am I
I'm
finished?
sorry.
I'm in the middle of a sentence, and he just starts
I thought I
jumping in with a
judged it
totally
right.
different topic. I'm like, come on, bro.
Oh crap! All right, carry on then.
There's a whole chain of like these education camps from the Nazis in Chile, like 400 of them.
Dang.
Just look at the railroad expansion of South America and the coalescence of all of the making.
Dude, Mengele didn't even bother changing his name. He got remarried in, I think it was Uruguay, under his real name.
Yeah, because
It's like-
those were like newly founded ideological governments. Like they really didn't have like they had their own train of thought because they're that civilization, but the act of like European governance on these people is a very crazy idea. And so like you are able to take over those things very easily when there's a lot of anarchy. You know,
Oh yeah, sure.
so
yeah.
Huh?
All Western, pretty much all of Western South America is Europe. It's like 97% white.
Yeah. Well, that's colonization. You know, like
Yeah.
but
Well, it's
really,
funny
what
because
it
we're up
was
here and we
taking
think
over.
we act like they're all minorities, and I'm like,
Nah,
they are more white than most of America.
it's about taking over your interior, which is like your minerals, your river routes, your roads, and then
Your heavy water,
exports.
I saw.
Yeah, I think they're going to create a war.
nuclear facilities.
I'm sorry,
nuclear-
Matt. what were you saying?
Mexico was selling metal to Nazi Germany back during World War II.
Yeah, they were.
And
Because they were
proud.
the
Hey, you know what's funny? Mexico was selling red dye to the redcoats during the American Revolution.
Yeah,
Freaking
What?
Mexico.
they're always trying to
Why wouldn't
subvert
you?
us somehow, aren't they?
the Habsburgs. The Mexicans were the Habsburgs. So the Habsburg banking industry of Europe basically completely overran Mexico in the 1800s, like wholly. So
Well,
when you
yeah,
got Habsburg bankers fighting against,
Orientals had to colonize the Americas first, and then the Europeans colonized over the Orientals.
no. That's Amerindian. No.
Yeah,
Amerindians spread to Siberia and all that and mated with
I'm talking about the ones who came to South America by boat. They went from the Orient to New Zealand and Hawaii and Tonga and
yeah, that's
the
like
Philippines.
the French, the
and
Dutch
they
East
they
Indies.
just kept going and made it to the Americas.
Well, that's why places like Thailand are having all their troubles now
Why?
because it's time to fight that battle again. You're gonna have it.
Thailand, huh?
Yeah. That-
Yeah, Thailand's been in the
that'll-
news a lot lately.
You know what? That battle's going to be over Islam.
No, it's not. I don't think it is. I think that's
You got a number of countries over there that are majority Islamic.
no. I think like the propaganda is heavily Jewish and Islamic when it's really not the case. It's really not.
There's not a lot of Jews in Thailand.
Thailand.
There's not a lot of Jews in the Orient in general.
I think there
I'll
are.
let you know.
Definitely. just about the same amount as like Swedes and Jesuits. About the same.
Which isn't a lot. You should maybe take a trip over there.
Bro, I'm industrial exports. Come on now.
I'm
telling
talking
me
about
the
the
Oriental has
human
control.
capital.
Telling-
There's very limited not yellow people with black hair.
You're arguing to me that the Orientals have control of their port exports.
I'm arguing to you that the Orientals make up the majority of the Orient.
They make the
Yeah,
majority of the world population.
What does that matter when you control powerful industries? It doesn't mean anything.
I don't know. I feel like we're throwing a whole bunch of topics into a salad bowl and mixing them
No.
up.
I think it's coherent. I think it's coherent.
Not Hindu Buddhism. Yeah. Okay. So what do you guys think about Vivek being a man of Hindu faith running?
They're
our
trained
country?
like Arabs, like you were saying.
What, you don't think he's going to be the VP? I don't think he's going to be the VP.
No, absolutely fucking not.
No.
I don't know
It'll
if that's
probably
what
be
you were
like
getting at.
General Flynn or someone like.
That would be awesome.
Great.
Freaking awesome.
Or like Lee Zeldin, General Flynn.
We need a good Jew in there.
No, we don't. Okay, well,
You make me spit all over my drawing, right? I almost hacked forth upon my drawing.
You know how we play here, Matt. Just put a mask on.
I need to freaking get a camera. So one of these days I can put it on my.
No, I wouldn't. So I would
Great.
give. He said, Black Goldberg said, I would give him Treasury Secretary. Absolutely fucking not.
Definitely give the Jews the treasury.
He needs to get like maybe transportation or something around pharmaceuticals, like maybe a health.
Oh, dang it. Yeah, we need something to get some of that manufacturing back over here.
So I wouldn't. So Treasury Secretary, you got to be a part of like the federal banking system. Good luck. So that's a big ask.
Can we make Gal Gadot the one that does what is the press secretary?
I think it'll be a man.
I think she's done.
Nah, Gal Gadot press secretary. They would get crazy ratings.
I think her
She
career
is retarded. Why would you?
She's what?
Gal Gadot is dumb. She's just like
she's not dumb.
One of the Zionist pushers. Yeah, she's all about the Zionism nonsense.
Are you drinking a Bud Light?
No, Mick Ultra.
Oh, okay.
About the same thing.
About the same color. Yeah.
No, Gal Gadot is like a part of the. Come on now, that's ridiculous.
I love Gal Gadot.
She's too involved.
It's not that she's involved; she's not qualified. Like she.
Oh, well, that.
Karine Jean-Pierre
Definitely
isn't
not
qualified to read off of a piece of paper. She's got the job.
Who?
Karine Jean-Pierre,
The current press secretary.
Bro, she's brilliant.
Black Raggedy Ann.
She's really gotten better though. I gotta admit.
Did
She
you see
wasn't all that
that,
great when
that
she
clip
started
where
off.
freaking Steve Ducey just straight up goes, "Why would the oil? You're saying that the oil companies should lower their prices, or the president's saying the oil companies should lower their prices, but why should the oil companies listen to a president who's trying to put them out of business?"
Yeah.
And she says, "The president isn't trying to put oil companies out of business." And he says, "The oil companies use fossil fuel or produce fossil fuels. And the president said he's trying to put an end to fossil fuels." And she just goes, "Okay, thanks everyone for being here."
No, he's really good. One of the best ones he's ever come up with is the one where he's like, what's the tennis player who can't come in the country?
I think Ducey.
But all the illegal immigrants don't have to get vaccinated. But tennis players can't come in to the country.
Well, at least you just use legal immigrants as an example. When they took over the French monarchy, they used immigrants to destabilize the country. like around the 1600s. Even England with the pre-1600s, they used Vikings to destabilize that country. Like, so it's a very normal tactic.
What do you
But,
mean they
like,
used Vikings? There was no democracy. They were a monarchy.
No, so you remember one of the reasons why, because remember, it's about exports, right? So back in the day, before banks and all that, the churches held all the wealth. So you would rob churches.
Right.
And then you expand into the rivers, and then you're able to take over like the commodity areas that do exports, like with grains and tin, which comes out of Wales and things like that. So like these are standard tactics. So like the argument about immigrants is like a useful propaganda tool to make the valid argument like be circumvented. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like we really don't have an immigrant problem per se. We really don't.
Yeah, not yet. I don't think.
But what the problem is with the immigrants that's coming in is they're getting registered under United Nations computers.
But they are definitely voting.
So they're coming in through the Red Cross and other Catholic institutions.
Yeah, the churches. Yeah.
Yeah, and then because just like the imams in the Arab countries that send all of the Arabs into European countries, the church is the ones who tells them to go to these nations. To America.
It's true. Yep.
I'm speaking of viewers.
That is coming.
So I mean, this is an age old technique. It's like, I mean, it's a way to pilfer countries out of like excess coffers. So if you have, through taxation, because we've been taxing the shit out of
Language.
China, so we're bringing all these export. Sorry, Mike. And then a way to capitalize off of that is to flood a nation with immigrants that get processed through a system, so you make revenue. So the Red Cross is making money off of this. SMOM, the Sovereign Knights of Malta, are making money off of this. Other Catholic institutions,
Catholic charities.
Yeah, and then you see like James O'Keefe, he's actually following these churches, these Red Cross institutions around, and they're building brand new companies that get like 600 million or 600,000 to a couple $1 million per building. So, and then you just scalp all the money off of that. I mean, it's just, this is it's like, I'm repeating myself at this point. Like, this is a very strategic way of using tax monies to put funds into foreign coffers in Europe. Like, it's very, very simple.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I was watching something about Reagan too, and his little amnesty thing that he put into place. He said that was one of his biggest regrets of his. I mean, because he gave amnesty, and then they promised him that they'll enforce after that, and
Yeah, he got suckered.
Reagan was a terrible.
That's why Joe Benitez is a citizen.
Reagan was a sucker. Yeah.
Joe Benitez, his parents were illegals, and he was brought across the border when he was like a toddler, and he got citizenship through Reagan's amnesty.
Yeah.
Out of all the topics that I could care about, like I actually care about illegal immigration the least. I'm just like, a part of me is just like, just bring them all. Just bring them all. Y'all are gonna get what y'all voted for.
That drives how we do.
Not with this freaking welfare state.
Yeah, so the reason why they want to bring in illegal immigration is because of the nonsense that's happened globally, like what's going on in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can maximize your P&L, especially on the payroll portion, by bringing in illegal immigrants, like, because America has huge amounts of farmland, huge, like absolutely absurd amounts of farmland. Like, if you can bring in illegal immigrants and farm those lands, and plus the church is making money off of it, like, could you imagine, like, so one of the biggest things that Reagan did was lower the cost of living for blacks and Orientals and foreigners that had already legally gone through the processes of immigration. Because like, what does it take? Like $1 or $2 million to like bring down the average dollar per hour and a person is making in a country. So like if you add in like 10 million, like you can bring the average income per hour that an individual is making substantially. Like you can bring it down substantially. So, Reagan, like Woodrow Wilson was another terrible fucking president.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, freaking president. Sorry, Mike. Joe Carter, awful president. Like
The worst until Obama.
Yeah. Until Biden.
Until Obama.
Was like lighting
Until
the
Obama,
candle
then Biden.
on the cake. Like
Mhm.
the
Biden's-
cake had been made, the candles are already in place, and
Biden's
Obama
off. Hold my beer.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I thought it was hilarious. There's a documentary about Carter putting solar panels on the White House, and
they leaked.
So absurdly expensive.
And then they leaked. And those weren't like solar panels like you're thinking about. They were solar water heating panels, and they leaked and flooded the White House.
Yeah, I heard about. Yeah, it's in that
I think that's
documentary.
even a ruse. I think that's a ruse, bro.
No, they're actually going off on solar panels right now because in a lot of places it's not. It depends.
Hello,
on
Elliot.
No way.
So, Weldon, let me give you an example. When Donald Trump became president, because I look at like the contracts that are given in DC at certain times, so you can like look at the interior, you can look at other federal buildings such as like the Martin Luther King Museum. Like you can look at contracts that are given to these institutions, and like it was surprising the amount of companies that had never existed before that were created when Donald Trump was president to do like maintenance and repair, air conditioning, printer, like the printer toner removal. You know what I mean? Like
crap.
This stuff is so deep. It's so deep. Like Joe Carter, for example, created the Senior Executive Service, and every 4 years they put out the Plum Book, and the Plum Book is a book of like aristocratic bureaucrats that are unfirables inside of the government. So once you reach like the senior executive service level, you are essentially like a royal, an aristocrat inside of the United States government. And that was created by Joe Carter. Like these and it was something that came out of the Army, which of course the OSS got turned into the CIA, which is an Army institution.
And I think that they know that now, and I think that I can only hope that they have plans to just go in and lay waste to all these unelected bureaucrats, man, because they are.
Can we all stop for a moment and say hello to Elliot?
Sorry, Elliot.
Hey, Elliot.
I'm gonna say you guys talk about. You go on with your conversation. I'm just drawing down.
It's all just a jibba jabba.
Terrible presidents. I have something to say about them.
We're here to save the comic book industry, J Doll. That's what we were supposed to be having this stream about.
What Joe Carter from the T-Rex.
Well, there ain't gonna be no industry if we don't get a freaking economy from a decent president or somebody who I don't know.
But I'll tell you what, dude. I'm gonna say this right now. If like legit they steal this next election, moving to Argentina.
Bro, they're not. They're not.
Well, I don't think they are. I'm hopeful that they're not, but they're gonna do something because they're gonna. I don't want to say what I think they're gonna do.
During Davos, they bent a knee. So Davos this year was very. I think so. What they're going to do is they're going to allow Trump to become president, and they're going to sink the economy, and that's going to be the it's not going to be an oil rig problem like what they did with Obama.
Well, because I know that they're trying to really, because I live not too far from the border here in Texas, and I know that they are really trying to get, because the Supreme Court just ruled in the favor of the
Wait a
government.
second, you're in
Aaron-
Austin.
Yeah, it's only like
Did you?
2.5
you're
hours
so-
from the border. It's like 2.5,
Dude,
3
I'm
hours.
20 minutes from the border.
No, he lives by the border. I was born in Baytown, Texas, baby.
Oh crap!
Yeah, I mean, you're close to the border compared to other people in the country, but
Well,
Like,
I'm just
I
saying.
thought,
I
I thought Austin
could
was
be
north.
there in I could be there in 20 minutes.
I promise you,
Well,
the border thing.
Good for you.
I could be in Mexico in 20 minutes.
I gotta go to Mexico in December, actually.
I've been to the border a lot of times. I did Uber for a little bit. I drove people to the border.
Trying to get rid of bodies.
Okay, fine. I guess 2.5 hours is not that close to the border.
That's relatively close.
Wait, you're in Austin. How are you gonna?
My mom, I'm going down to visit my mom on Friday, and she lives like 15 minutes from the Gulf of Mexico, like at the water, and then just a few hours from the border too. And it was growing up down there. My goodness, there was just so much boats
I need to
coming
look
in
at
with
that.
drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Like
you're in
crazy
North
in that-
Austin
in that
too,
sense.
so you have to drive through Austin.
I'm in Pflugerville.
It's North. It's by Round Rock, right?
That's between Round Rock and Austin.
I really
Actually-
thought Austin was northern Texas. Uh-huh.
It's mid.
No. It's like
Mid.
southeastern.
I just know that it takes about. Let me see. I want to look it up now too. I remember driving to Laredo for conventions, and it didn't take that long. In fact, there's a Laredo convention coming up very soon.
So here's Dallas, and here's
Speaking of conventions,
What?
I'm going to be in MegaCon next week. Who's
What's
coming?
that?
You going to
What's that?
MegaCon?
Is that Florida?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, MegaCon, Orlando, Florida.
Oh, lucky.
Orlando. Dude, do you know about like the whole Friday Night Tights, Rippaverse, and all those guys are all going out there?
What?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I drive to Alabama for a little convention all the time. It's not too much further, I don't think.
I'm sure I'll talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, you can
Kelsey will probably be
go
there.
talk to Kelsey. Yeah.
I imagine.
What's up?
Is he going to be there?
I
I don't know.
imagine, but I don't know. For certain.
No, he's not going to be there. He lives in Louisiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Mm,
Hey, who else goes there?
okay.
Who else is a Friday Night Tights?
You got obviously Gary. You got Jeremy's gonna be there. Cord Black Garrett's gonna be there.
Really?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of somebody else. I was expecting. I had somebody else in my head when you said that.
Go to Patrick Parnell is my friend on Facebook. Go see him.
PTP gonna be there.
He's in Florida.
I'll
get
be
you some
there.
Johnny Phantasm.
Yeah.
He had a nice little documentary on it recently.
I'll be there. That's my first show of the year. Probably not. I think we're skip. Believe it or not, we're going to skip Tampa
What?
Why? You
They-
in Tampa? How you skip Tampa?
because they raised the prices on the booths.
Oh my gosh.
Oh dang!
Yeah, it's too much. We were like,
You just got to go
nah.
tell him what's up to Elliot and be like, "Hey, you know who I
I
am?"
did, and they laughed at me and said,
Oh no! Oh no!
"What have you done? Nothing. Shut your mouth, fool."
Dude.
That's unfortunate.
What the heck? Check out this map of Texas. I don't understand it.
What?
Why? Because they put Hillsboro.
Hey, there's a Hillsboro there too.
Hillsboro's is right by Austin, right?
I don't know what that is. I don't know.
Okay, here's. Let's see, San
Are
Antonio.
you trying to find me a way to the
Trying to
border?
find Austin. I don't see Austin on the map.
It's a little above San Antonio. It's about an hour.
That's
above
what I'm
San-
saying. Where is it on the map? Why would they not?
All right, should I go to the Laredo border or the? Yeah, let's go to Laredo.
Don't you get
Alright.
my point? Austin's like one of the biggest cities in Texas, and for
It's
some
full
reason,
of gays. It's like
It's not big at
San
all. What are you
Francisco
talking
number
about?
2.
it's the capital.
So it takes me 2.5 hours to get
It's
to
the capital city. They should have it on this map.
It's full of gays and Alex Jones.
It's really lefty. It's kind of like California.
It's probably closer to 3 hours.
Alex
Just
Jones
do a
might be
search.
moving from there. He
What
said.
what are you looking at?
Oh. What's
So,
this?
Mike, what do you think about Trump's stock growth today? Granted, this isn't a monthly chart.
His NFT set? His next NFT?
No. This is an actual stock. This is Trump's.
Oh crap.
It's DWAC, Digital World Acquisition Group, or something like that.
Diesel.
I don't know, but looks like it had a nice breakout.
Yeah, well, it didn't hit 32 or 38. So, makes me really dread not getting any of DWAC.
What is DWAC?
It's
sounds
Trump's
Digital World Acquisition
World
Corp.
Acquisition Group.
What did they do?
So it's like it's tied to Rumble, it's tied to social or TruthSocial.com and all that jazz. And over the last couple of weeks, so the reason why the stock jumped this morning is because of Trump winning New Hampshire.
Oh yeah, dude.
So, and there's also litigation going around because Trump is trying to merge Truth Social and DWAC, but they still want to have Rumble as the server host. So there's like the SEC is involved and all that jazz.
Okay.
But today, granted this isn't a monthly chart, I'll switch it to let's do 1 week. So last night he won. And today, so look at the volume jump. So it's
I would like to also present for your viewing pleasure Trump token, which likewise.
Bro, you can't handle that volume. It's going down.
Yeah, that's a wild.
This is MAGA, the Trump token.
Please sell. Like you gotta sell.
He's like, that's my absolute.
My point is, I don't have any of this. I wish I'd have gotten in when it was down here, but
Switch it to a month.
I didn't get any.
He's like, that is my financial advice. That is absolute.
Yeah, but no, dude, this Trump season. I mean, dude, a lot of this stuff.
Trump season.
It's not Trump.
Well, a lot of these things hinge on when you're talking about meme tokens and stuff. They hinge on the memes that are popular. That's why the freaking the Doge, because of Elon Musk, and then all these Elon Musk tokens started taking off, and now that Trump is like freaking full force coming in. I mean, dude, our NFT collection is coming out soon. The Don Mafia. So
awesome.
I'm hoping it's going to catch that train. The Trump train.
Proverbial train.
Black and Goldberg said, I flipped his first NFT collection 2 for 100 into 1 ETH. Nice.
Dang,
I couldn't get in. I couldn't get what's it called? Polygon to work.
Oh.
Because I'd never used it before and I couldn't get it to work. And so I tried to get in on day one of the Trump first NFT collection. And I'm like,
that's unfortunate.
Oh, well. What are you going to do?
What are you going to
do? You're going to make your own Trump NFT collection is what you're going to do.
Did anybody get in on that Rob Liefeld NFT action?
What?
Yeah, that was a couple years ago, actually. Maybe a year or two ago.
Rob Liefeld?
Yeah, threw out some NFTs.
Sounds like you did.
No, I didn't. But I know some friends who are like absolute Rob Liefeld. They really like Rob Liefeld, and he's like, I told him, he's like, I ain't buying that jazz. Yeah, have nothing to do with that.
Jazz, come on, man. Who got the jazz? Who got the jazz?
Yeah, this jazz going pump this time.
I mean, everybody was in NFTs a couple years ago.
Pouch coin.
Did y'all hear about that pastor that ran that $3 million not NFT, but crypto exchange scam?
No.
And he said God told me, trust me, bro, on the liquidity. And because there was no liquidity, but he kept taking all these funds for this little crypto exchange for this little pastor's church, and they cashed it all out. And God told him to cash it all out. God told him to pay all the taxes on all the crypto. God told him to take the money, and God told him to remodel his house.
I don't think that was God.
Just a hunch.
Just
Yeah, I agree, man.
a suspicion I have.
Now you're assuming that he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well,
Just like Black Lives Matter, you know, sometimes
I'm
you
just
gotta
saying is all.
remodel your house.
I was just saying is all.
I don't think
That
so.
was racist, Mike.
That was heavy on the.
Massa. That's all I heard.
BlackRock trading a new token.
Did you see that over 17,000 Bitcoin had been exchanged since the ETFs
Coming out
were
of
introduced,
Grayscale?
and all of them have almost all been sales.
Everybody taking profits.
Yep, exactly, bro.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's because people have been invested in BlackRock for all of this time. That was like the only way they could get like a quote unquote ETF.
I don't think BlackRock even has a crypto desk, do they?
I'm sorry, am I saying BlackRock? I mean Grayscale.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Grayscale.
Grayscale.
So Grayscale converted to an ETF when they got ETF approval.
Yeah, they sold.
And then finally, the people that held Grayscale Bitcoin could sell their Bitcoin, and a lot of them did.
Most definitely.
So that just means they're institutional investors see the previous history of like gold and silver. You know, that's the most comparable, other than like maybe like corn. Oil was kind of held for a while. Other wheats and grains. They see what because remember, this is just spot market trading. So this is what you actually have to hold. So true ETF trading, betting on futures and all that, where you can do trades without you actually holding Bitcoin, that's not been approved yet. And so I told you, Mike, 2030, 2032. So they're gonna yank the rug out from under Trump because you got to remember, like, so Trump can be president 2 more times in a row because there's nothing in the Constitution that says that he can't run again after this next election.
Yeah, it's only be president for 8 years.
No, it's an honor system.
So they're like, if you think about it, because the Danish folks, the British.
True. I mean, Obama wasn't a citizen, so
the French folks, they're gonna lose.
That's true.
They're gonna lose Taiwan. They're gonna lose some of the contracts with Thailand. They're gonna lose contracts with Indonesia. More African countries like Mali and those areas, they're gonna leave French currency. The Bahamas, they left the crown. More island nations, they've left the British crown for the currency.
Goodness.
Can I mute while my son is yelling in the background?
Yeah, sorry.
He's not that bad. I can't hear him.
So I think it's going to be crazy. I think the only ones who were very smart about this was Japan. Japan was like, we are not doing again what happened in World War I, World War II. They are not going through it again. So
that's good. I mean,
that's because of Godzilla.
No, because of the Jesuit port mafia.
I'm optimistic that Taiwan had some good election stuff news come out recently too.
Say again.
I mean, I'm optimistic. Talking about over there, Taiwan had some optimistic election news come out recently.
No. So between 2030 and 2032, a lot of contracts that were 99-year contracts, those are going to be up for renegotiation. So you're already seeing what Ukraine is going through. I don't think it's going to be as crazy, but there are areas in China that used to have French dominance, Dutch dominance, and British dominance, that those ports are going to come up for renegotiation. And you will not see what happened to China or what's going on in Ukraine and China this time during renegotiations. Like, China will not have a Mao situation again. There's just no way that's realistically possible.
I mean, I hope not.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not. Absolutely not. Oh, there's Landon. The Manchus and the Hans from think about it. So their monarchy was destroyed, and then because remember, China is really not China. Like, it's a whole bunch of regional gangster strongholds that got put together in the new border era, which was around the same time Ukraine. Remember, because Ukraine used to be much smaller, and then after World War I, World War II, Ukraine became much bigger. You chopped off Poland, you chopped off Hungary, you chopped off Russia, going down into the Caucasus.
Well, Ukraine wasn't a country; it was a region.
Well, I didn't know that Ukraine took the side of North Ukraine took the side of the Nazis in World War II. I didn't know.
No, it was southern Ukraine. It was southern Ukraine.
I thought it was North.
In the river Don, that area that goes into the Black Sea, or which used to be called the Pontus Sea of all things. That area used to be, because the Navy for Russia was born and created out of the Crimean area. And so the area that Russia birthed their Navy out of, they don't even have control of anymore until the Maidan situation going into what we're going into now.
I wonder how true it is with all the Nazi talk about Ukrainians.
Absolutely. Bro, the amount. So have you ever heard of Hallstatt?
Maybe.
What? So Hallstatt has one of the largest salt mines in the area, in the world, right? In eastern Ukraine, in the Donbass area, you have one of the largest salt mines in the world, in the freaking world. And on top of that, you also have, measured through satellite information, you have over 300 metric tons of gold. So you have the largest salt mine in the world, or one of the largest salt mine, top 5. You have over 300 metric tons of gold. You have rivers that go through the Dnieper and the Don out into Crimea, going into the Pontus Sea. You're if you look at Ukraine and you Google how much of Ukraine's land that is fertile for crop cultivation, it's absurd. Like, the amount of money that Ukraine exports is absurd.
Yeah, because Ukraine's known for its wheat. Is that what it is?
They have the perfect cultural, you can't pick up, it's the best place on the earth to grow, grain and mitten for animals. And then you have more salt than Hallstatt. Bro, the amount of salt, so, and Coca-Cola has a big footprint there. And remember Putin. So not only did Putin blow up one of the most major Coca-Cola production areas, he completely stopped salt production. He stopped the trade routes coming into the rivers from European ships, exporting grains and goods. They will not, what's happening in Ukraine will not happen in Thailand. There's just no way. China will not allow it. They just won't allow it. They're not going to play the European game.
Oddly, I don't feel like any of this is going to help save
the comic industry.
Oh, come on. It will.
What was the main topic of that? Saving the industry?
Yeah, that's the name of the talk. M&M saving the comic book industry. So,
but I mean, what spurred it?
Then we went straight into Bitcoin and then global politics and
What
economics.
spurred the
Who-
saving
Who's
the
saving
industry?
comics?
I can't remember. It was like maybe we were talking about the primary tonight or something like that.
About the what?
Matt was asking how we got off, and I was like, maybe we started on the primary talk or something tonight.
No, but I was wondering how
Somebody
you
probably
started-
mentioned Trump.
Well, no, how did you start thinking about saving the industry?
Who's saving the industry?
Oh, Mike, this thing was talking about it.
We're gonna save the industry here tonight.
I thought you said Eminem was. I was
We're
like,
gonna
Yeah.
save it. We're gonna save it with SketchUp. Well, we started saving it with SketchUp.
M&M. That's right. We brought up SketchUp.
It
What's
was
SketchUp?
gosh dang glorious.
Is it kind of like
the hell
SketchUp?
are you guys
Elliot.
talking about?
SketchUp.
3D
Yeah.
assets to trace from, so we don't have to draw so much
Dude,
stuff.
this would save you so much time.
It's a
Okay, I'm
trace
gonna
program.
present it. Share screen. All right, I'm gonna play this video again for Elliot. Actually, I'm gonna play it. Whoops, I'm gonna play it faster.
Why does that sound
Oh,
familiar?
This
That
is
sounds
what they use
very
in
familiar.
manga. Clip Studio, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
people use this in all kinds of comics.
Yeah, I watch a manga artist. He uses this.
Yeah, it's freaking rad, dude.
Can
Look
you
at
open
this.
up the building and use the rooms inside of it, right?
Oh, that would be outrageous if you could do that. Holy crap!
No, that's what he does. He has
can.
one that you can go inside of the building.
Oh
take a
my
photo of the
goodness.
wall, and you got a room, and you got desks. And
No, that's what I always like about the Sketchfab that I use. I use Sketchfab just to look at some cars every now and then, and it's always cool because some of them, it's always nice whenever the car models have like interiors. Now, so a lot don't, and the hardest part is to find a car
See
model
this,
with
Elliot?
with all the hardware underneath it, like all the mufflers and engine, oil pan, and all the other stuff.
Oh, I know what SketchUp is, but that used to be free. Now it's a paid program, right?
Oh, is it?
I don't know. I don't have it.
Yeah,
I want
that's
it,
been
though.
around. It's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's been. I heard
Yeah. It's been along for a while, but I've never used it, and now I really want to.
it.
But it's not cheap. Like it's pretty
Oh, really?
pricey, if I understand. Yeah, it used to be when it was like in a beta stage. It was a little bit less expensive. Now it's check it out. I mean, look it up.
Check it out.
Okay, Matt, he's gonna do this zoom in, like I said, the more dynamic perspective view in a second here. Just pay attention, because this one, like you can check that out. That's cool.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Right?
That's pretty cool.
See, I can utilize that.
You could go extreme perspective and get up under that.
Yeah,
Man,
we're keeping
if there were lockers in the hallways in that school, that would be the most excellent.
There probably are.
Well, can't
feel like-
you can just make this
feel like-
and
Because
Yeah, you
drawing
can
lockers
make it,
would
but
be
the whole
miserable.
point is like you can have someone else make. It's like
yeah.
if I'm referencing, the Empire State Building, I'm not going to be like, well, I'm just going to invent a new Empire State Building. It's like you reference this Empire State Building. So it's like, what's
Yeah.
the difference between that and be like, oh, I'm going to reference or I'm going to use, trace these other buildings because I trace the Empire State Building from a photograph. There's nothing. What's the difference? Actually, this is more difficult. This is
Dude,
more.
I had to draw the freaking like the Eternal Flame monument too, along with that fallen soldier thing, and I was desperately trying to find something on the. I had to resort to like YouTube videos of somebody walking up to the Eternal Flame monument over in Washington. And I was like, I wish I had something.
Well, now you can just start making them in 3D, right?
Yeah, but then you have to learn how to
use them for
build 3D.
forever.
You can build stuff on SketchUp.
That's
That's even better, right?
Heck
So
yeah.
does it add the perspective itself?
Yeah, once
Like,
you build the
can add a
model,
2D.
then you
Okay,
can turn it around any way you want in the.
so they have a free version that's $0 a year. It's a what do you call that? A subscription model.
Oh dang.
They have a SketchUp for iPad that's not free. SketchUp for web that is free. Mobile viewer is free. SketchUp Pro is, and Layout and 3D Warehouse and Triple. These are all their products. But the actual SketchUp, there's a SketchUp Go that's 119 a year, SketchUp Pro that's 349, and SketchUp Studio, which is 749. That's only for Windows. Interesting.
Right.
Do they have monthly?
Hey, Mike, I'm gonna share my screen in a second. I want to show you something.
Okay.
Allow.
Paint Monk asks, but isn't SketchUp evil? Only if you have been taught that it is.
Only if it
Well,
was
you can
AI.
see the argument. You know what he was saying. It's not about.
It's not
So
AI.
he's saying you take like the first page lamp on the 3D art thing and using the same bedroom in 3 different books like that. You know, that's what he's saying. Like,
I literally don't care. I was explaining earlier how I drew these different cityscapes, and I would use the exact same cityscapes
Yes.
in multiple
Flip it around, invert it,
You
and
did it,
everything.
right?
dozens
You did it.
of books.
you
right?
did it though, right?
Right, but who cares if it's like, I don't
Yeah.
understand this argument. This argument is just
Okay.
bitching about something that nobody has ever bitched about before in order to try to make one
Language.
particular person look bad.
What's that?
It's so,
Mike, you better stop it. I'm a bad.
it's just people are, and look, I'm not a fan of the artwork in ISOM, but it's like complaining that Cliff Richards is using SketchUp. Go
Oh, that's
complain
okay.
about every manga artist that uses it. Go complain
No.
about. Nobody's complained about this until they wanted to try to freaking
Just
take
try to
a
find
dig
something to
at
complain about, right?
Eric.
Whenever you're ready, show my
It's not
screen.
Eric. It's Cliff. So it's like
So
you're
SketchUp
attacking him.
SketchUp has been around so long that was used by Joe Quesada when he was working on some of his stuff.
Yeah, Kevin
at
Sharp
Marvel.
just said SketchUp is weird. You start with the cube. Oh no, wait. He said
The
they
challenge
had
with SketchUp.
models of Doctor Strange's Santorum, the Baxter
Yeah.
Building, etc. that Quesada wanted artists to use to be consistent. That's fair. It's
Tell
all
me when
fair.
you tell me when you can see my screen.
So the thing
Yeah.
is, though, the only
Oh
thing
my
about
gosh,
it is that
dude! I would have
you
loved
got-
to have had that freaking F-16.
Oh,
Jerk,
dude,
really?
I can't even tell you how.
I want to
awesome
hear what
this
Jerk
is.
has to say.
Look
God
at.
Gosh darn it.
Just go ahead and hear Jerk while you look at these awesome models. Look,
Jerk,
I can.
please.
it's all good. It's all good.
You can screen. You
No,
can
Elliot, I want to hear it. Convert that into star screen, baby. Look at that.
like
The
the coolest thing is
the
you
thing
can
is-
look at these
Yeah.
models. Go ahead, Elliot.
no. The thing is, it's not easy to do. It's not that simple. You have to have some knowledge of what you're constructing. So you're not. It's not producing. You can get people pre-built models, but if you're going to build it, you're basically building a 3D structure, just like almost like you're building a model kit out of like paper. Like you make the circles make tubes to make columns and squares and
Yeah.
cubes to make stuff.
Yeah.
So by the time you're done, you might be spending as much time creating the building that you need, unless you're planning on using that building over and over again.
Mm.
Yeah,
And then in which case that's
Yeah.
fine. But
that makes sense.
it has its own learning curve. So it's going to slow you down at first, unless you're going to pay for someone, or you can find it for free. I'm sure someone's building somewhere or whatever. That's what I remember about it. That's why. But I stopped. I was using it for a little bit, trying to learn it, but it was taking me a long time to get that
Is
done
it-
versus getting the work done.
Is it different than your art style? You know, that's another big thing. Like, so you're taking these 3D assets out of
Well,
your.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the
you
other
can take-
thing.
It can take out what you're doing in the book, and then all of a sudden you see this.
Yeah, it would be for
Perfectly drawn.
people who are trying to draw realistically on everything.
Yeah.
Cartoony stuff isn't gonna lend itself to.
Well,
Although
at least,
it'd be a good basis.
yeah, it's still
Well,
structurally good. It
Yeah.
can still be useful. It's just that you're not. If you're going to try to build something unique, let's say you have a unique thing you want to build. It's like if you were doing an engineering design with anything else, and it's a full-on project once you're figuring that out. And then you also have to know things like how high are the doorways compared to your windows, and
Yeah.
know how far the top window is from the rooftop. Like
Mhm.
things that you don't even think about. That even when I've tried to draw that with just by hand, is if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to take you a long time to learn it.
Yeah, Kevin
But
said they had a library of Marvel had a library of assets that he had access to, so that you didn't have to make them.
Yeah.
right, but I don't work for Marvel, so I'd have to make them. Unless Mike figures it out, and then I'll just borrow Mike's.
Dude,
Mike's got time.
I tell you what though, I don't know if you're still looking at my screen or not, but when I was drawing Florida Man, this helped me out so much because Mike had so many cars. Like this guy right here, I don't know if you can see him. This guy, let me see. She goes crazy in this grocery store, and then she jumps her little car off the
Oh,
into
yeah.
the water and stuff. And I just got to I didn't trace, but you don't need to trace. Like you get a good look at some of these cars, and it just really inspires you. It's really easy to just
I don't
check.
care if you
Well,
Well,
trace.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
sure.
so much easier to have a 3D model of something if you're not going to trace it, to have it
Yeah.
so that you can reference it from the right angle, because finding photographs of
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
a
like
particular car
this
at the right
plane.
angle you're drawing is so hard.
Because I was looking at planes, and Mike was having me draw like all different kinds of this little car right here. You know, the interior. Oh man, I didn't even look at some of the interiors of the cars, but it's so awesome whenever some of these cars, like this
Hey,
freaking
hold on a second.
pirate ship.
Side point. Black and Goldberg says, "Hey, Mike, start interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. Start interrupt." But that's a few times. When pirates? LOL.
I don't know what
Well,
that
I've
means.
got an idea for pirates utility, but we've got a couple other things to do first, and so they will be coming but I want pirates to create a utility that brings value to the entire frat
You sound
collection.
like
So
such a crypto seller.
It's true.
I want to bring utility.
Man, I need to post this. I've been putting this collection together of just vehicles and just random crap forever. If anybody wants this, I need to post it in the chat.
there's the Akira bike.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Man, I need to find a lot of these cars have really awesome interiors. I wish I could. I don't know exact because so many don't. And like I said, it's so hard to find like a car with an undercarriage.
Oops.
They
I
don't really.
was watching Jason Brubaker, and he was using 3D models in the clip, I think, but he
Oh
was
my
inking by
gosh.
hand over it, so it looked like hand drawn, like cartoony.
Ooh, that one's got the keys in it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't just drop something in. If I would drop it and I would use it as pencils,
Yeah, that's
and
what I do. I
then
just
I
ink
would ink
over
over
stuff.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some. Yeah, I was trying to find a Hummer. It's so hard to find a good Hummer.
Yeah, to Dr. Money's point, you still gotta you still gotta apply it to your style. That's
Right.
like if
Exactly.
I personally like my stuff real chunky and big, thick and juicy. I prefer art to look that way. So
Yeah.
Well,
and
you
a
can take
lot
it
of
off me now, Mike.
angles.
You like
Yeah,
some round, thick and juicy.
yeah.
Is that where you went with that there?
Oh, see, I was looking for a Blackhawk interior because I had to draw some Blackhawk stuff. Oh my goodness, try to draw
Dude, that's
a
crazy.
pilot. Yeah, no, it's hard, man. When you can spend
Like 4,000 instruments.
you can spend forever just looking for reference and
Just watch
research.
Cletus McFarlane YouTube video. Use some Black
Not
Hawk
on a load.
in there. No, that's not a Black Hawk. No, absolutely not.
I don't know what a
That's
Blackhawk
too
is.
much.
Says it's a Blackhawk. Looks like a Blackhawk.
It's a lot.
Nice. I hear it's a lot in there. Well, anyways, yeah, this thing has helped me out. It's hard to find a good tank. Hey, you can take it off me now. But if anybody wants this, I'll share this little collection I put together. The coolest thing about it is I don't think you need like a membership, and this is not paid, but to look around the models, which is like the coolest thing ever. But if you want to like buy the models, it costs money.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, some are free though. That's the coolest part. Is let me see if I can find a free one. This one has.
Yeah,
So people can build models and then sell them there.
They can sell them or give them away for free. Like this one is
cool.
free. This motorcycle right here. If you wanted to go in here, you can
I already
download
took
this
it off
model.
you, Weldon.
Oh crap. Well, anyways,
Just kidding. It's back up.
You don't have to go out back up on me, but but just to let you know, some of them are free. Some are really nice and free. Like these are actual scans of real motorcycles. Like that one's pretty detailed. A lot of them aren't that. good. But just to let you know, there's a download button on a lot of them. You can keep them on your computer, and you don't have to come to the website for a lot of the free ones. Anyways,
Yeah, if you had a model for like what was it, a 55 flathead? That's what Lone Star was driving. That would have made my life so
all right,
much
take it off.
easier.
And you know what I think? Are those what kind of files are they? Are they OBJ files?
No, they come as let me look because I just downloaded some.
Because if they're OBJ files, what's cool about that is I can manipulate OBJ files.
It depends.
in Procreate.
Sometimes they're OBJ files, sometimes they're STL. Most are not STL unless they're like just black and white printable models, but most are OBJ, yeah, or FBJ or whatever it is. But most
I bet you I could. That's what's cool about that is if you're Mike, you can do that in Procreate.
yeah, they do come most. But the coolest part about it is the best file type is the Blender file, because like if you can just on your PC you have a 3D viewable program, and you like the best file type is the GLB. It's the Blender file type. You don't need to load them up in a program. You just double click on them and it opens them like a picture viewer, and you can look around them. It's the coolest thing in the world.
I'm saying if you have it in Procreate, Procreate will allow you at least OBJ files. That's one other file that you do, and it'll let you manipulate a 3D built object, and you can turn it. You can do all that stuff that you were just showing. Like
I do like getting the OBJ files, Elliot. You're right. You're absolutely right. I do like getting them.
I don't know, and I'm not. I don't know enough about it to know which is one where. I'm just saying that what you can do in Procreate, because Mike uses Procreate.
Right.
I use it. So
this isn't coming out quite as I think he intended, but Black and Goldberg says, I'm super impressed by all of your work, whether it's a hand job or tech.
Excellent. Most excellent.
Are you a woman?
Art thou a woman? I mean, what is a woman? What is a woman?
You don't have a penis.
These days, who knows?
Oh, I can't really say that now, can you?
Kick her in the ovaries, then you'll know.
All right, so how are we going to save the comic book industry?
By kicking her in the ovaries.
Give her a boot to the ovaries.
I'm going to get some sleep.
Oh, you just got here.
Thanks for coming in, bro. I'll see you tomorrow night, though.
Yeah, I wrapped up the other stream, and then I was like, oh yeah, and then
yeah, Kevin said he's watching you.
So is Weldon not here last week? That's what he said. But
we don't have to go over that, Mike. You don't have to.
Yeah, Weldon wasn't here. Where was Weldon?
You don't have to recall.
But was he? He wasn't here like 2 weeks before.
You've
been
out.
No,
I've been good. No, I've been very attentive
last week.
I was very attentive until last week. I have been here.
What do you mean? You were gone during Storm?
Yes, he was.
Storm, right?
I missed Storm.
You were here last week.
And I missed last week, but that was it. But I made up for it because I went on a Friday stream, and I'm making up for it for tonight.
Are you skipping tomorrow too? Because that's that why.
No, no. The reason I'm staying up tonight.
Mike made a big deal. He said, like, Daddy Ice is here. We're gonna show up.
No, I'm intentionally staying up tonight so I can sleep real good tomorrow, so I can stay up tomorrow night. Because part of doing Wednesdays is when I get up at 6:30 in the morning, I can't. Your 7 o'clock stream starts at 9 o'clock for me. So
it starts at 10 o'clock for Elliot.
I know, which I don't.
You don't hear him crying.
I cry.
Squirt some tears, you punk.
I just cry by myself in my bed.
Oh, God.
I can't take it anymore.
I mostly wanted to save the comic book industry, but I wanted to actually like ask Mike about his vitamin regimen again before we get off stream.
I actually have some ideas.
We can do that tomorrow, though. I don't know if it's your Cunol or your magnesium or whatever it is, but I keep forgetting what it is.
K2 and D3.
K2, that's what it is.
K2. I don't take CoQ10.
You got to deliver. You got to deliver that magnesium and
I used to take CoQ10.
You need K2 to deliver calcium into your bones.
calcium. And my
Otherwise, they'll deposit into your arteries.
collagen. I need my collagen delivery route.
Oh, what they said? The best time to take collagen is before you go to sleep.
Oh, really?
Absorb better
Really?
in your body, and
Oh,
which
nice.
help you sleep.
The best time I usually take is Radler because I was playing basketball tonight too, which is why I didn't really get your message till I got back. And I just hate playing basketball sometimes because it just messes me. I just cannot sleep after I play basketball because I start thinking about
Hey,
all
do
these.
you have any of you guys? Oh, hold on a second. I appreciate your responding, Mike. Thank you. My very first entity was one of the 251s, and it was by accident, as you know. I know. Yeah, I have plans for them too, hopefully. So,
Nice.
anyways, any of you eat oatmeal?
No,
I would. I freaking love oatmeal chocolate
I
chip
used to.
cookies, but nobody ever makes them. They always make them
I
with
used to.
raisins.
I just learned oatmeal actually has or creates melatonin and
Really?
tryptophan.
No way.
So that's what it's like.
Well, that's
Those
messed
are the
up
two
because
things
most
they,
people eat
yeah,
oatmeal
most
for
people,
breakfast.
right. So it's like it makes you all lethargic during the day because you're taking these two sleeping pills, basically. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna eat oats, you should take them at night, or you should take them. You should eat them at night.
Hey,
Don't
what do you
take-
think about T-Rex, Mike?
Pretty
Oh,
menacing looking. I dig
It
'em.
looks
I like-
cool. I think his thigh is too thick
no, it looks like
uh,
Land of the Lost.
in biologically. I mean, it looks cool, but like if you're trying to be accurate, I think the thighs on the T-Rex are.
How do you know that? That's what I was saying on the stream. Nobody's actually seen a T-Rex with muscles.
Hey, I can show you my
Because
3D model
they
T-Rexes.
do muscular. They can tell by where the connective tissues on the muscles were,
Well,
or
I
not on the connective tissues on the bones, the
So they
fossils.
claim.
that's the claim. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, this is. I was like, I don't know if I can be accurate. I
Hey,
don't
yo,
know.
man,
Mike-
that T-Rex is just thick. What do you want?
Mike follows the
That
He's-
Rex got butt, and I cannot lie.
theology of what's his name that believes that all the dinosaurs were on Noah's Ark.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
that dude in Colorado or
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Ken
Ken.
Hoagland.
What?
Hoagland, something like that.
No.
You're actually
But
right.
I believe that way before I even heard of that guy.
You
No,
believe
no, no, no.
dinosaurs were on the Ark?
Hovind, I think.
Mike,
No,
you
believe
absolutely
dinosaurs
believe that
existed.
dinosaurs existed while people lived.
Yeah, they were dragons, and there's plenty of
Oh.
evidence for it.
I don't believe they existed. Period. Just not in the way that people.
So how
think
come a
they did.
whale can't live on land?
What
The
are you
bone
talking about?
structure can't support its weight.
Exactly.
There's not a
Because
wheelchair
God
big enough.
created whales
So how
to be
do
in the
how do
ocean.
dinosaurs walk when man is alive? How do you make that argument?
How do they what?
So dinosaurs can't live on land, right?
That's why giants didn't
What do
exist
you mean
either.
they can't live on land?
They can't. As soon as a whale comes on land, the weight of their internals rip from the insides. That's why they usually
Well, what
die.
kind of dinosaur are you talking about? What kind of
Anything
dragon?
that's
Sorry,
comparable to a
dragon.
whale.
The only thing comparable to a whale would be a brontosaurus, brachiosaurus,
Brachio.
Quite a bit of
sauropod,
them.
a
Quite a
sauropod,
bit.
right?
So how did
And
they
the
exist on
Bible,
land
hold on a
during-
second, hold on, because in the Bible, the behemoth is described very much as a sauropod, right? And it says it lives in the rivers. So if it's a river creature, just like Mokele Mbembe, the legend in Africa about the
Just
Brachiosaurus or Brontosaurus, whatever it is, it lives in the river, but it's a land-dwelling mammal. So it doesn't, not like Jurassic Park where it's walking around eating trees. It actually walks and lives in the river.
They did say that those brontosauruses were good swimmers.
Why were trees so much bigger back in the day?
High oxygen. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean the oxygen level
Right.
would have been insane.
And that would sustain dinosaurs, right? On land.
Maybe.
I'm just talking about the specific ones that are the size of whales. They would have to be in the rivers.
Interesting.
Right. So the higher the oxygen content, the more weight through a gravity like Earth or Mars can sustain outside of an ocean, like a buoyancy, right?
I don't know how that connects.
Yeah, the higher oxygen
Oxygen does.
content,
I
the
mean,
more.
the atmosphere might have been denser, but I don't think that would have made much
Yeah,
difference.
so
to
the
weight.
higher oxygen content allows for larger species to exist. Heavier weight animals like Komodo dragons, big giant tigers, big giant lions,
Whoa,
big giant elephants, right?
saber-tooth tigers.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind, reptiles still to this day they
Freaking
never stop
wow.
growing.
Well, they adjusted to the oxygen content, right?
But I'm just saying they never stop growing.
To
So
sustain
imagine
their
a
internal
1,000-year-old.
That's why Noah lived to be 900. Wait.
Oh, whatever.
No, hey, we have to go by the numbers that are in the book because that's what we're going by.
I think
Right.
their
So
dates
you
are.
have to see if the theory lines up to the information in the book, because what the information in the book is immutable, right?
Well, it's not
Whereas
immutable.
like
It's been edited.
these theories, quote unquote scientific theories, they can change at any time by fiat, right?
So an
Anyone can
immutable
change it.
Old Testament or New Testament?
They're both immutable, but the old I don't know how much of this stuff is in the New Testament. It's mostly in the Old Testament.
Exactly. So it's not immutable.
What are you talking about? The Old Testament is immutable.
Agreed. To an extent.
leave some room.
To
The new, the British one was edited for.
No, I'm talking about the original text. I'm talking about the original languages, not the translations.
Like the
What about the
Textus Receptus?
32 plus books that were taken out?
They
The
were never
Apocrypha.
canon. The Apocrypha was never canon in the
But apocryphal books did stay in.
right, but they were never
Apocryphal
canon in the Jewish scriptures.
So
They
it
were
is.
canon. I don't know why the various churches decided to canonize various apocryphal books, but
So it is mutable.
they are valuable. They are historical,
They are
but then they are not scripture. They are not the writ of God
Why not?
because they
Because
don't. contain
Constantine
prophecy.
said not, or what?
Exactly. The step. I
No,
love
they
it.
were not. They were not the canonized scripture that was agreed to.
Canonized by who?
Judaism. Christ.
Well played, Mike. Well played.
Mike. The canonization around 300 years after the fact. Through like Constantinople and Antioch going into.
I'm not
Italian
talking
century.
about the freaking church. I'm talking about the Jews who had the agreed scriptures. The number.
All right, let's go get Gal Gadot to settle this.
The approved scriptures had a number on them that
she would
cannot
be going off the
cannot include the Apocrypha. It's really funny because in one book, the book of Ezra's in the Apocrypha even claims that Ezra, the prophet, rewrote through the Holy Spirit all of the scriptures, and the Jewish canonized scriptures, 24 of them. And keep in mind, it was 24 in the sense of like we say 1st and 2nd Samuel, right? And then we say 1st and 2nd Kings. Well, 1st and 2nd Samuels and 1st and 2nd Kings used to be one book. It was just called Kings, right? But they divided it up into different books. So the 24 books that were canonized or not canonized, but they didn't use that word back then. But the 24 books that were accepted Jewish scripture back then were confirmed in the apocryphal book.
So, like, yes, I understand the Septuagint story. So, I mean, a lot of the Septuagint stories aren't in canonized King James Bible versions. So, I know you're talking about a Septuagint and the writings that are around that time, right? Basically.
Yeah, the Septuagint was written 300.
Yeah,
but when was the Bible even compiled? Wasn't it like 1611?
It was done in the Turkey regions, basically around the southern portions of Constantinople and all the rivers that connected into Syria. And Josephus, because you remember, like the court Jews, they were
Josephus also. There were 24
court
books.
Jews weren't like as powerful in the early they were a powerful sect because they controlled trade routes going for like the Caspian Sea and the Black
Okay,
Sea.
but you brought up Josephus. Josephus also said there are 24 books of the Old Testament.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that point. Like, but it was.
But that's the point.
what
The Old
Weldon-
Testament canon does not include the apocryphal books.
So what's your opinion on Josephus and how the writings going into the Old Testament? So we're saying about 300-ish AD to like 800.
Josephus wasn't 300 AD. Josephus was 120 AD.
So it was 120. Okay, so around.
No, Constantine was 300 AD.
Mark and Matthew and all that. That was definitely around the 200 area. Josephus
No, it wasn't
was
Mark and Matthew. There's extant
when Josephus
fragments of the Gospel of Mark from 70 AD.
Well, he was the court Jew for the emperor of
that has nothing to do with
modern day Turkey. So like remember back in the day, people like Josephus were savants in their era. Like they knew multiple languages. They knew how to read and write multiple languages, which today is just like if you teach your child to do it, they know how. But like back then, that's masterful. So
I'm not sure what
It's
your
like
point
all-
is.
there's a lot of
Weird.
like if you read the Torah and the Talmud,
Mhm.
it's been edited.
I haven't read the Talmud.
Old
The Torah has
Testament.
not been edited.
Old
The Torah has
Testament.
not been edited.
Yes, it
The
has.
Talmud may have been, but the Torah is not. No,
Everything
it isn't,
is-
dude. The Torah is only the first 5 books of the Bible. We have extant copies of that date back to pre like 400 and 700 BC with the silver scroll and the copper scroll. We've got 24,000 copies from the early first centuries. We've got the Dead Sea Scrolls that closed the gap between the earliest extant copies and and they all agree to each other to an infinitesimal degree. The
Wait,
Torah
Mike, but
has
am I
never changed.
confused? I thought you believed that a lot of stuff was lost
That's
in
all
translation
pre-Jesus.
with the Bible and stuff. Or am I wrong about that?
Yeah, it's all pre-Jesus. So
No, I'm saying that I'll say in English, there's no perfect English translation of the Bible. I don't
Sure.
believe that King James Bible was perfectly translated.
absolutely not.
Sure.
It was.
Right.
It was.
But the original autographs, the original words that the apostles and the prophets and Moses all wrote were God
That's
breathed.
why I have a
I
problem
can
with
believe that.
saying
Yeah.
that the Bible is immutable because, like, the King James
I
version
mean,
of
the
Bible
original
was-
text is immutable and proven to be unchanged
Mm.
for thousands of years.
but like the text
But
that
the
was written
translation-
around Canaan and all that is different. I don't know. I think there's a lot of translation that has wholly been lost and edited throughout time.
You need to stop saying edited, unless you're talking about the translations. And
It
I
has
agree.
been edited. Editing the Bible and editing, like, it's
No,
one of the
because
most
editing connotes that they're changing what the original
one of the most
says.
prestigious titles that you can get in history is being like a King James, like the King James Bible, if you think about it.
What about it?
That is one of the most prestigious titles that you can get. Like the Torah and the Talmud have been edited a whole lot. The language
The Torah
been
has
edited
not
a whole
been
lot.
edited.
No, it has. Like the language.
Bro, I have studied this for 30 years.
You
may
just
know a
argued
lot
my
about a
point
bunch
for
of other
me, though.
stuff,
You
but bro,
said,
I guarantee you, I
I
can prove
promise you the
beyond
translation.
question that the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, have
No,
never been edited.
Babylonian translations going to Canaan translations.
Okay, that's translations. Again,
Going
that's
through
not
the
the same
Levant.
thing.
Throughout history, you will lose the
Yeah,
meaning in the translation. So it's.
Well,
It
that's the
wasn't
amazing part of the Bible.
I'm not
It's
talking
never
about the
been,
translation.
it's
I'm
never
talking
been
about the
altered
original
meaning.
the original authorship, the original autograph, they call it.
Mm,
The original autograph was in Hebrew, not Babylonian.
it was not in Hebrew.
It was in Hebrew.
Baloney.
In Greek.
You're
No, I'm talking
hitting
about
like
the Torah. We're talking about the Torah right now.
Yeah.
You're hitting like proto language So the powers that controlled the trade routes throughout the Levant, going into like which is like Iraq, they had religion, right? They had their own religion that is separate than now, even though it's the same area as going to Tetra in Egypt, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
I think I follow.
I'm still caught up, Mike, in in you saying that the text hasn't been changed. I can't.
The original text, yeah.
Yeah, because like marriage,
Marriage
the
is between a man and a
original
woman. Go on.
original concept of marriage is a lot different than it is today, right?
How so?
So back in the day, if we go all the way to like the pre-Babylon area, where we're hitting like the pottery culture going into Bronze Age area, like they had a different idea on marriage, especially in the Red Sea area, going from the Levant, going all the way back down into Babylon regions, like like these giant trade routes. Mike, your pretty daughter that you have now, you would have already established a marriage partner with her
And a dowry.
and established possibly land exchanges, more than likely pastoral things like goats, oxen, donkeys, things like that. So like the early idea of what marriage was is wholly different than the idea of what marriage is today.
She would have been a 9-cow wife.
Right?
Have you ever seen that old movie?
I mean, yes and no.
And it's not yes and no. That's reality of the fact. And
I think yes and no.
To solidify my argument before I end, Pope Francis, who is a Jesuit from South America, who is connected to the port mafia and the college mafia, is allowing homosexuals to be married inside of a church.
I believe that's not right.
It's changing how marriage. So like the church is very vicious. So like the definition, it's these powerful, like these esoteric individuals, the ecumenical ecclesiastical order of the church. It is.
I think you're confusing. I think you're confusing motivation for marriage for institution of marriage. Yeah,
marriage back in the day is not the same as today.
But you're changing the motivation. No, because the marriage as the institution hasn't changed. It is the man and the woman, and they get married.
That is not how it was originally, though.
It's always been that way. That's the very definition of marriage and always has been.
Bro.
What you're arguing is that the motivation for the marriage has changed.
So you're telling me back in the day, young men or women were allowed to just mingle about.
Did you just hear what I
outside
said,
in the community?
I think you guys are kind of agreeing with each other.
You're not listening
they
to the
were
words
allowed. They were allowed to design how a marriage was, and not their parents.
You're talking about motivation,
bro.
Not the institution. You enter into the institution. What is the motivation for getting there? That's not semantics.
It is.
Maybe a little.
It is.
I don't think so.
It is.
I don't know. I think it's a bunch of stuff, guy. And
remember, there was something before marriage.
Marriage was always a contract from the beginning. Thank you, Scott.
No, yes, it was a contract between your parents and who to sell you off to for property and land and power,
which is a different motivation.
But that's covenant. Right? You're arguing something that's not. I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying.
All I need.
I mean,
Yeah.
God didn't want us to have 700 wives like Solomon, but he took upon himself pagan ways, right?
Yeah, I always thought it was weird.
Yeah,
I mean,
Solomon.
what's that part in the Bible? Like, I've been learning about certain other parts, like marriage, and then what was it, David, that instituted the law that no lame or blind could even enter the temple to pray. That's why
Yeah.
whenever Jesus healed that dude's um, eyesight at the edge of the at the gate of the temple, and he was allowed to go in the temple after that and pray because the law was instituted. The lame and the
Do
blind
you
couldn't even go in the temple to pray. That couldn't go in there before that. And so, I
but
mean,
do
I've
you
been learning
take
lots about stuff like that.
do you take that as literal vision, or you take that in an esoteric perspective? So he was blind and now he can see.
Yeah, the law
Yeah, he was
was if
literally
you were
blind.
lame and blind, you could not enter the temple even to pray or do anything.
Mm.
And he healed his sight, and so at that
Elliot, what are you doing?
it talks about him being able to go in, and everyone was all like, what are you doing in here, you're blind? But he's like, no, I'm not blind anymore, I can see now, so I can come in this temple and I can pray now, because they were like, you can't be in here. I mean, I think it was pretty literal. I think that part of it was literal.
Is it,
You
which
think it was
scripture is that?
literal, you said?
Yeah, it definitely was, because like I said, he could only sit at the outside of the gates of the temple. He could not go in because David instituted a law that the lame and the blind could not go in the temple to even pray. So once he was healed, he was allowed to go in. He could see.
Which scripture is that though? That they keep the law, but
When Jesus healed the blind man at the gates of the temple,
No, he's
I'll get it. I'll
asking
get it. I'll get it for you.
when was it? It is in
I personally
it is in
think
Leviticus, so I don't know if
I
it's
think
David.
it was I
think
think
it
it
was
was an
Moses.
esoteric message personally, like
Well,
how I perceive.
I don't mind it being.
Why would it be esoteric?
I like my esoteric stuff, but I think that was pretty literal.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
it's
Jesus straight
not
up said when John the Baptist followers came to Jesus and asked him, "Are you who John was waiting for?" He says, "Go back and tell John what you've seen. The lame walk, the blind see." It's not esoteric. It's freaking
yeah, and that is very true because so that fits in my argument with what I was just saying against what Matt Weldon was just. So it's not that they're blind. So reiterate what you just said, Mike.
the lame walk, the blind see, and the
Mhm.
what is the rest of it? The good news is
So
is
it's
preached.
they're not. It's
World,
it's a
world.
metaphor. Like
It's
I've
not a
been.
metaphor.
It is
So
a
Go
there's
back
metaphor.
and tell
all
him
other
what
examples of
you
people
have
being blind.
seen. No, he said, go back and tell him what you have seen, what you have seen with your eyes, not what you felt or not what you metaphorically thought, what you've seen. The lame have been healed. They can walk. The blind, they can see. They've been healed.
Well, that's why they believed in him, because he was
So
if he was just a guy talking, no one would listen to him.
there
They'd be
was
like,
just
"Oh
a
yeah,
bunch of blind people sitting around, and all of a sudden they could see.
yeah, but yeah," because he put
I
his
mean,
hand
not,
down. And
I wouldn't say it was a bunch, but there's a couple instances, yeah.
You know, it was,
Yeah, that's what it says. It says in Isaiah, like he took our infirmities and bore our sicknesses, pains of punishment.
mm,
But yeah, he
more of
that's
a
one thing
Gnostic.
that's why they believed him, because to persuade a Jew on something, it's got to be something pretty magnificent to sway them. I mean, it's got to be. They saw some miracles, they saw some mighty things happening. They're like, "Whoa, this guy's not like ever. He doesn't just come and talk. He's doing stuff." Yeah, they're seeing things happen. That's why they're like blown away. Like, whoa.
Well, I guess the whole point of why I got on that subject was like, you know, you're talking about like why were certain people allowed to have multiple wives throughout the Bible here and there, and
Status.
you know, like why was
Wait.
Abraham allowed to procreate with that other servant chick? I mean, it's just, you know, you never know. Like,
Well, they weren't. I don't think they're allowed to. They just did it on their own. You know?
I think
No,
everyone.
it was never condemned in the Bible.
Well,
Right.
every time they
Polygamy,
did it,
the
it
only
turned out bad.
argument you can make about not having polygamy came after. I mean, there's an argument some people make in that were
All old texts
I don't
promoted.
know what it
polygamy.
says.
I mean, besides the marriage thing, I mean, just why did God allow his prophets and some of his people to institute certain laws like and do certain things, like David instituting the law where no lame and blind could even enter.
Because
Again, I don't think
that's
that's
how
David.
culture-
I think
Yeah, I
that's in
never heard of that
Leviticus.
before.
I'm pretty sure
think
That's
that's in
how culture
Leviticus.
was. Culture back then, like you would trade your daughters for cattle.
I mean, maybe we'll never know. Maybe we'll just ask God
Well,
whenever we
Jesus
see.
kind of put a fine point
95,
because of the hardness
95
of your
to
hearts.
98%
God
of
allowed Moses to write that.
I'm
law.
not complaining or anything. I'm just, it's fun to learn about.
98% of everyone who lived back then couldn't read. Like we're making arguments looking at it from today, not making arguments looking at it from how the individuals lived back then.
Well, that's even
Sure.
more unbelievable
And so
because
that's what I mean by like
they didn't change
esoteric. Like
anything
you're
else.
looking at it from a perspective of like language that is commonly used today. So
Mhm.
like I am not blind. I can see. But what the text is telling you is to look deeper in yourself or in the problem or in the situation that's being presented before you for you to understand from an emotionally intelligent perspective the scenario that's being placed before you. Like the Bible is
I like that lesson
designed-
too.
You gotta
I like that
look at
lesson
the
too.
The Bible is
interpretation of
designed
the
for like
wording, though.
all the questions and all the answers. So like an individual like Mike, if you have a certain, like if you're religious and you confide in Mike and you ask certain questions, he will be able to pull from his knowledge in the Bible answers for all the problems or the situations that you have being faced before you. Like, and that's the whole design. That's why the Old Testament doesn't work anymore. And that's why the old precedent for marriage that we were just talking about doesn't work anymore. And the old precedent that's even before the polygamist idea of marriage, like, so marriage has changed over time. The idea of how communities and standards are change all the time. That's the Catholic Church. The whole,
People change, but God
the
doesn't.
church was not created in Italy. Italy usurped the Constantinople old Orthodox point of view and changed it into a new system. And then they were able to use the Templars. And during the Pepin era, when they were doing the first set of crusades, they took the printing press out of so now you took the heart of the church out of the orthodoxy from Constantinople and you brought it over to Italy, and then you take the ability to
Printing
print
press
money.
wasn't invented until 1600s.
Yeah,
printing-
exactly. Yeah,
the printing
so
press
The Crusade started in what, 1100? What was the first crusade?
no. So when the
I didn't think the printing press was invented until 1800. I could be wrong.
no,
No, 1611.
Excuse me, the money printing press, not the printing press propaganda. My bad. The money.
Yeah.
Money,
First
money,
crusade
money,
was
money.
at the
My bad.
right before the 1100.
I said printing press. I meant mint press, money press. Yeah. So and then
money printer go brrr.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden everything is coming out of Italy. So that's pure usurpation. So
Hervoya says printing press was the 1400s, right? I was thinking 1600s. That was the first
well,
time.
it wasn't. It
So
was later.
the Gutenberg Bible was the first Bible.
Oh, that's cool.
Not the Gutenberg.
Well, pamphleteering came out of Britain.
This is good discussion,
So,
man.
The earliest
We always have good
modern
discussions
propaganda books came out of Britain. Now,
I'm learning
granted,
lots
there
tonight.
were propaganda books in Greek and everything, but like from a measurable perspective.
Well, I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining about, I don't want to gripe about why certain things were allowed in certain time. I mean, I remember, what was it? Only the Levites and the high priests were allowed in the temple for a while. I mean, nobody was allowed in the temple.
Yeah.
Right.
For a
They
while. I mean,
died.
you just never know. Just throughout time, certain things were allowed at certain points. And
Because they would die if anyone else.
Yeah,
went in there.
they never stopped that. The temple is gone.
No, they still got the temple.
We are the
they still got.
Come on now. You think
Yeah,
that their temple is gone?
You need to go see one of
Yeah,
those.
it was burned down in 70 AD. What are you talking about? They haven't rebuilt it yet.
That's the one above ground.
Why do you think the Temple Society exists? Because they want to rebuild the temple.
Oh, you're talking about the actual
Yeah,
third
I'm not
temple.
talking about my body.
No. Well,
My body
yeah,
is now the
they're-
temple of Christ. That's
I think so. I think William King. I think they're gonna pass Charles, and they're gonna use King William.
Oh dang,
While he's
mean-
alive to do the third temple.
that would be a
He's
kick.
already-
That'd be a kick to the breadbasket man, because he's been waiting forever to be king.
Yeah, but he's an idiot.
I think
I mean, I
William's
agree with that. I'm not saying otherwise. I agree with you.
And you know what's funny about what I was just saying and what you just said? The Leviathan oil field is
Mhm.
right off of Lebanon in Israel, and that pipeline through the Leviathan oil field, they're trying to run it through Cyprus to go to Italy. So currently, Italy has no pipelines that go to them directly. You have to go through all these nations. It's very, very. You got to go. So if you got to go through more than one nation, you're dealing with what, like 10 mafia heads through all these countries.
Mhm.
Dang.
So one of the
Italy's
one
kind
of
of
the
a
main
mess right now.
reasons- Well, because you remember,
Is Italy
so
that one
when-
that got dumped on with all those migrants? That
No,
just-
that's. Oh wait,
Well-
the migrants or the.
Well, maybe it was a little island off the coast of Italy. I can't remember. They got
Cyprus,
more
yeah,
migrants
Greece and all that. Yeah.
that they had more migrants that got dumped on them than they had a population of the little spot
Yep.
that they. It was so wild.
That's like that's to destabilize Turkey, because the right
Yeah.
side of Cyprus is wholly controlled by Turkey. The left side of Cyprus is controlled by Cyprus, and in between that is the Brits. The Brits control a non-militarized zone, which they use to launch missiles and jets
Dang.
to go to the Red Sea to hit the Houthis, which I find very interesting. So you have a non-militarized zone, but you're launching warships from war jets from this area. Very, very odd.
Yeah, it didn't really have the desired effect when they bombed them like a couple weeks ago. Now they're like, let's bomb them again.
So
Fuzzy Creature. Hold on. Fuzzy Creature asks, "How can you skip a man who's already king?" It's called abrogation. He just gives up the crown.
So think about this.
Dang.
Or they kill him.
The Leviathan oil field.
Uh-huh.
So you remember when Queen Elizabeth became Queen Elizabeth, and when her father abdicated and went to the same place Hitler went. One of the first things that the Ottoman Empire, aka modern day Turkey, did was give the deed of Israel to Queen Elizabeth as a birthday gift. And so the land of Israel is wholly owned by Queen Elizabeth today, King Charles.
Dang.
And so like that's a front. So what's interesting is all of the oil fields in Iran are controlled by, British Petroleum and all that, which is another King Charles front. So let's go back to Taiwan. So their contracts are ending. So that means the Dutch, King Charles, and France are losing Taiwan. You have the contracts in Iran, which are maturing around the same area, which their oil fields. Remember, because the British Petroleum, when the Shah of Iran asked for more money, the Brits and the French destroyed the monarchy in Iran, and today we have the Ayatollahs. And so in Israel today, because it's very small, you can control that area from a more vicious strategic point. So that pipeline, that oil field, the Leviathan oil field, is going to have a pipeline going from Israel, going to Cyprus, going straight to the boot of Italy. So Italy, the Vatican, because remember, SMOM, the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, and the Vatican, they're their own countries. They have their own population. They have their own passport.
Mm-hmm.
So Italy will have, for the first time in its history, their very own pipeline. And they don't have to deal with Russia. They don't have to deal with the North Atlantic Councils, the North Sea Empire, which is Brussels, London, Sweden, Norway, and all those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a big fucking fight. Or this is a big freaking fight. So, like, could you This shit is going to get insane. It's going to get insane. It's going to be fun.
Craziest year of our lives.
No. 2030, 2032, it's going to be insane. I promise you. I promise.
I'm glad you're optimistic that we're gonna make it that far. I like to think that too. I like to hope that too.
America has no bone in the fight. We are being drawn in. The fight is between Europe and Russia and the shit in between.
I agree with that.
It has nothing to do with
Elliot?
It's a border dispute.
Huh?
Are you trying to find it out?
I will soon, but I was commenting to people in the chat. Someone was asking about Doom Kicker. I was just responding.
Oh boy, I got a sneak peek at Doom Kicker, y'all. It's looking sharp.
Oh, are you guys working that out?
It looks good. Well, no, I'm talking about like a couple weeks ago. Elliot
gave
us a peek behind the scenes.
I will be calling you, Matt.
So much. There's a lot done. It looks freaking exciting. It's very stylized, y'all.
All right, cool. Now that we're back on the issue of comic books.
Yeah, this got real heavy.
Let's do some Bible comics.
Some Bible comics. I did it far. I did the whole gospel.
Yeah,
Matt, did you miss that whole thing?
No, I caught it, and as I was getting ready to make myself available to come on more often, I did see that. That was freaking awesome, and that was many hundreds of pages, right? Or hundreds of strips. How many was it?
It's 200 pages, I think. 200. I don't know. Hold on, let me look.
I did see it.
Does anyone know that Hunter Biden was at Congress last week?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Was it MTG was calling him out?
No. For a closed deposition.
I think I heard a little bit about
2-3 weeks ago when he was doing all that nonsense.
I don't know much about it, but I did hear a little bit about it, that he was there, yeah.
Yeah, he was there last week. And then the whole news cycle completely brushed over it.
Yeah. Like you do.
Of course.
I don't think anything's going to be done about him until, his daddy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no. His deposition, I think he turned on his family personally.
Oh,
it's 180 pages.
He turned on his family. I would if I was him. Anything to stay alive and not get executed.
I think he's slimy. I think he's slimy enough because Biden's his only. He has to run again so he can keep himself and his boy out of jail, and I don't think Biden thinks that old Joe has what it takes to make it through this another term. So he's going to turn on him. You might be right.
If you look at,
I feel like we keep getting away from the topic.
If you look at Hunter Biden while he's traveling with U.S. Marshals. He's not traveling with Secret Service.
He's got all of his bills paid, man. He's got some freaking.
No, his bills are not. I mean, absolutely not. All of the locations that he has been like protected by Secret Service are all of the areas where he has a federal case, and a U.S. Marshal has to follow him around. Like,
I'm not saying the Secret Service is paying his bills.
It's U.S. No, he's paying the bills. The government's charging him.
With which is why I want to get in on.
He's paying with cocaine money.
I want to get in on some of them. What are they called, Mike? Partial painting investments.
Well, his artist his art dealer had to testify.
Oh, fractionalized art. Yeah.
No. Man, it's just such a wacky arrangement. There's just so much injustice in the world. You just gotta learn to cope.
I think it's all timed, and if you want to be like a mischievous big player, like a chess move player, you gotta like play with the movie. Like you gotta go along with the movie, or nothing will matter.
Sometimes I think about it. I'm like, let's just get our cheat on, y'all. everybody else is. But then again, I'm like, no, my soul.
No, don't cheat.
soul.
Yeah, no, I catch myself. No cheating.
Those people are like,
So nobody cares about fixing the comic book industry.
I do.
we
No,
are.
I'm gonna share my 3D assets with the comic book industry and salvage it.
Keep your
I've been
assets
here-
to yourself.
I've been here
Mr.
the whole time waiting for you to give me the big reveal. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh no, we were gonna figure it out.
Oh,
Well, we'll just say part 1 and ironing out the
The
details.
prelude.
The prelude. The prequels. We call this the prequels.
How about this? See, how about instead of hiring buddies or diversity hires, just hire people who actually can draw and write good stories. Yeah.
All right, how are you gonna get the money for that?
I always think it's silly whenever people keep pushing the idea, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular. This has been going around for years. In case there's somebody out there currently saying it, I'm not thinking anyway. But they're like, Marvel's gonna lease out all their properties to whoever, and that is not gonna happen, in my opinion. They will never do that.
Oh,
They're not just gonna let anybody come and.
Well, they
Because
signed a
Marvel-
Penguin. They signed their distribution to Penguin, which is a British Empire institution, of all things.
Although I don't want to say like
Random House.
speaking like complete,
Same thing.
because they did give IDW a lot of properties. That was a really weird time. So I might be full of crap. So don't listen to me.
Yeah, I can see it happening. I mean, they did it back when we did Heroes Reborn, right? Because sales were so bad that they went back to the All-Stars, licensed them out basically. I could see it happening again. I don't think it would happen in the same way because really there are no All-Stars
Yeah.
these days. There's no comic.
Wait, so that new book talking about what was that? What's that new book where all these famous artists are? It's supposed to come out tomorrow. When it's an image book, but it's all these people running off doing their own little thing. Gosh, dang it, what's it called?
What is it? What are you talking about? Is this
Dylan-
the one with like Scott Snyder?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm so oblivious to so much stuff, but it's
you talking about Rebel Moon and all that?
no,
No.
Rob Liefeld's book.
no, it's gosh dang it.
Yeah, I don't.
They're
remember the
creating
name.
all these fun little universe. It's almost like a little image run again, a little nostalgic image run where they gather out of all these artists and they're creating all their own properties over at Image again. And gosh dang it, what's it called?
Oh, the Skybound?
Is that it? No.
No,
Is that with
I don't think it's
Kirkman?
Skybound.
hold
oh,
on.
there's that one that's
Let me look it up.
called. It's the one with the big D on the cover, the letter D.
Oh,
I think that might be it. Yeah.
Distillery was one of them. There's a
Yeah,
second
Distillery.
one. There's another one that has that involves the writer, the guy that used to be the guy at DCU. Come on, Jeff Johns. He's another one that's
Oh,
involved.
I think
in-
that's part.
Yeah,
he's part of it.
That's the project.
But it's not the same one. The Distillery is a different one, and that's the second thing that include the one with Jeff Johns also includes the writer.
Geez, nobody in the chat knows the name of this thing.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Does
Yeah, I was
anybody
hoping the
know?
chat would bail me. Ghost Machine, that's what it's called.
Ghost Machine. Yes, that's it.
That's cut out tomorrow.
And I
Yeah,
think
it's like,
I think
it's like
some
some of
that's
the
mine.
heavy hitters that we do have today have kind of gotten up and.
Let me see. What are some of the
popular.
names that are being dropped in this jazz?
What's the name of that writer that he was like an actual prose author, but he did oh my gosh, what's that cat's name? He's a bald guy, wears glasses. It's a little guy though. Don't. I see your smirk, Michael.
Well, so some of the names are. I knew Brian Hitch was going to be part of it. Jason Feba, Gary Frank, Jeff Johns, like you said, and then But
Yeah, but there's a famous author who's with that group. But he doesn't. I think he's going to write comics. But he was a he used to write prose novels. He was known for like
well, here, listen to these names.
thrillers.
Listen to some of these names, maybe, and tell me if this is any of them. Lamont McGee, Francis Magnapol, Brad Meltzer, Peter J. Tomasi,
Pete Tomasi.
Yeah.
Matala Zukshit. Let me see what other names are there. They're just mostly those.
Pete Tomasi was an editor.
But he also wrote Green Lantern.
Are you talking about a different project, or are you talking about this project, but you're thinking of a specific writer?
The guy's name I think is Ben something.
Temple Smith?
No, he's not known for comic books at all. Not that I know of. But what's it called again? The name of the thing? Ghost Machine?
I think it comes out tomorrow. I could be wrong.
Oh wait, is that the one comic out of? Oh no, it's the whole thing.
Yeah, it might be like the.
No,
big...
that's just one of the comics. This is part of a bigger group.
Oh, okay.
I think. Let me see. This is the Ghost Machine one shot. Oh yeah. I think you're right. Brad Meltzer.
Looks pretty cool.
Brad Meltzer's the guy I was thinking about.
Oh, cool. Yeah. No, I haven't really been to the comic book store in a while. I might venture out to go grab this, but this might be hot.
Yeah, I gotta go. I saw some of the. I gotta go to my comic shop too. I saw Cobra Commander this week. Oh my gosh, that is so great. That is so. Gosh, man, Kirkman's killing it on that. Whoever he's got writing that, whoever's putting that together is dynamite.
He's not writing it?
He might be writing one of them. He has different. I think he has different writers on each project. But Duke was fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cobra Commander was dynamite. Transformers has been really good too. So I haven't read any of the Hama G.I. Joe stuff yet. I'm afraid to because I'm not really a big fan of Hama. But I mean,
dude, Transformers.
Just not interested in his interpretation anymore. I think he's too old for it now.
Yeah, he's pretty gone.
They butchered Transformers though. Unfortunately,
no, that book is awesome.
The first issue, and that was the last one I bought.
Of course, you're
crazy.
Honestly, Matt, I haven't heard anyone else say anything bad about it. Of course, you would.
Because he personally didn't like him, he had no respect for the.
That Transformers book is amazing, and the guy that's involved, David, that was his name, Warren, whatever his name is, or Warren something. Johnson. He's a big Transformers fan.
Yeah, he had no respect for the franchise.
Okay, whatever, man.
Absolutely no respect.
Yeah, I really don't give a damn what you're saying. I know that I read it and it was fantastic.
I want to
How
read
do you
it.
know something is good? Matt hates it.
Are you making my head, or I need some peanut butter?
He took Transformers, and they always feel like people got to put their own personal view of like I think it would have been better if Cobra Commander was a woman and he had a daughter instead of a son, or you know what I mean, something like that. And I'm like, just go with what it is, and then you add your stuff to it, but don't change what already exists.
Did you read the book that I read?
The Transformers.
I don't think you did.
Transformers, the opening of it.
I don't think you know what the definition of read is.
They killed off Bumblebee in a vicious way by blowing his face off, and then it's only because he didn't like him.
He needs to die.
That's what I'm saying.
Good.
Yeah, I know. Like if I had Transformers, I'd kill all of them. How about that? I'd kill all of them.
Any
artist, then I resurrect them.
Any writer like that.
And then I rebuild them. And then I would ship them out to the Navy.
Hey Matt, did you like the '80s Transformers animated movie?
Yeah.
Dude, they killed Optimus Prime and half of the freaking original Transformers in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and they showed respect to it. They showed respect when
you're
he died.
You're a hypocrite.
They didn't blow his face off and treat him like he's garbage.
But they did it in the 80s, so it's good. But
no,
they
it was
can't
actually
do
a good
it
writer.
now.
They wrote a lot of people. They killed off a lot of Transformers. They killed off like Cliff Jumper.
Yeah, so why are you freaking getting mad that they killed off the Bumblebee?
Because it was supposed to be the origin story of the Transformers, and he made them die at the beginning, so there's no history of them.
I like how Elliot is just like dumbfounded by the whole
It's the total origin story of how the arc.
It's called a new story. It's called something
not a new
different.
story. He's changing the canon. That's why
there is no canon anymore.
Yeah, see,
Dude,
that's
You
what I'm
sell
saying.
a comic
That's
book
what I'm
to
saying.
save their
Matt,
lives.
No respect.
when I
Give them
made
a
it,
chance to try something new.
No respect
when I
for
pitched,
it.
we had a
The hell with
meeting.
that
We had a
respect
meeting
nonsense.
before IDW got the rights to Transformers because DreamWorks had just lost the right. We had a meeting out at Hasbro in what the hell's the name of that tiny little town they live in? Or what's the smallest state in the nation?
Maine.
New Hampshire or Vermont,
No, the tiny one.
I don't know.
Connecticut,
No, Rhode Island.
Rhode
Oh,
Island.
Rhode
I
Island.
Rhode
said it.
Island.
It's close. You're close. Zach. You're close.
So we
Dang
flew out
it.
there
Someone's in the
and
corridor.
we had this meeting, and dude, I had this awesome pitch for the Transformers, but it was a revamp of their origin, and it would have been awesome, and you would have loved it. But dude, this just happens. It's not like you don't have to freaking be so stodgy about just because you didn't. It's not
Constance a
what
troll.
you
Constance
grew
a
up
troll.
with.
I'm stodgy on it.
Elliot,
I'm
how good are you with the GI Joes? I found an old GI Joe and I can't find it right now, and I wanted to see if you could identify it. And I just found it going through some of my old crap.
I
Look
know
at
a lot
somebody
of
actually
them.
giving us suggestions for the topic. At least interesting marketing and experiment. Yes.
Nah.
Yes.
Talking about Transformers?
No, comic books. You have to market comic books haven't been marketed since the
Yeah.
90s.
Do you think
Yeah, they
it's
don't
a good
like it.
idea to go back and like try and get into stores?
Yes.
Because I've been doing lots of
You?
I do.
Well, yeah.
I because I have my Punchline book and I just finished my swimsuit issue and I turned it into Antarctic Press, so that'll be in stores in a couple of months.
Did you give women butts
Um,
in your bikini
Black,
edition?
big
We
butts.
we should go look at. Maybe I can show you guys,
Cannot
give you
lie.
guys a peek.
I think for someone like you, Weldon, you would. I mean, you
I've been-
belong in stores. I would pitch it.
I got. I think I've gotten better. I took a lot out of their midsection and I've relocated it to their keister areas over the years.
So,
Well, I mean,
boobs
let's
in the
kind of try to stick on topic here. It's like
butt.
realistically,
We are.
this is why I mean, he just said should we get back in stores, and now he wants to show us his book. That's not really the topic.
Well, no, I just I got
Your book's not
distracted.
the
All right.
topic. It's sort of an over the
I think if you're a
overarching-
businessman and you guys do what you do, you should try to get your stuff anywhere you can.
Well, I don't want to like try and
agree with
speak
that.
out of school, or if that's the proper term, but I'm pretty good friends with the guys over at Antarctic Press, and so like if you guys are ever interested, I could mediate. You know,
I know, Ben.
I talk to Ben and Joe quite a bit, and they pretty much tell me like, yeah, just freaking bring whatever you can to us. We'll put it out.
Yeah,
They're very
that's
nice
the
to
thing.
me.
It's like just getting something into a store isn't marketing.
I know that. I'm just saying, like,
All right, like if you know, Antarctic had the funds to actually create a real and viral marketing push to try to push some
Yeah.
content. You know, like I said, it
I
has
like books a
advertising
million.
work. Advertising works. Advertising
Yeah.
works. You can't say
Yes.
advertising doesn't work. There's an entire industry based on the fact that advertising works.
You got
Well,
like places
But
like
nobody
Books
has advertised comics to anyone outside of a freaking comic shop or
No, that's not true.
They don't even
Okay,
advertise to.
no,
comic
hold on.
stores.
Let J Dollar finish his examples of the
So
advertising
in Books a
outside.
Million and stuff like that. So Elliot's book, I think, would be very well placed in places like Books a Million. Weldon's Punchline would do
That's
well.
not the question I
in Books
asked.
a Million, and I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I have my opinion.
it's
Okay.
pretty cool. Like whenever I got the first two Punchline trades, this French publisher
Oh, which
approached us, and it was a pretty cool little payday. They just took the books, they translated it into French,
Dude,
and
that is the foreign licensing is the easiest money in comics.
it was
Really?
awesome, man. I
So
couldn't
easy.
believe it.
It's like they
Because
just come to you and they say,
Well,
we want to publish your book, and then you hand them the files, they do the
Yeah.
translation, and they send you money.
They send you a check,
Yeah.
and they sent me some copies. It was cool to get some copies. It is so cool because I heard that the French market is like the second biggest manga or
You got
comic
that
book market in
Frenchie.
the world. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
You got that Frenchy style also.
I think they like the character design.
Yeah, you got that. You totally
That's
got
right.
that.
That's where I first started working in comics was in France, like the French comic Humanoids Publishing, like in yeah. I only wanted. To me that was my Marvel. That was my Marvel because I was
Really,
loved
that's
Mobius,
awesome.
and Mobius was like one of
Oh,
the original guys from there. And in my first job, I did a cover for the Inkle for the second series when it was supposed to be the young John DeFool, and then from there they tried to hook me up with some writers, but I did a couple tryouts, didn't work out. One of them was Kurt Busiek, and then
oh, really? Cool.
yeah, and Red Hand, and then finally got hooked up with Chuck Austin. But yeah, but Humanist Publishing, man, they actually made a TV show, Metal Hurlant, and one of my short story was made into a TV episode.
Oh,
And that was cool.
Sweet.
And then they wanted to make a movie, but they got it optioned, but it just didn't go through. Which I'm kind of glad it didn't because they took the story, they stole it from my brother and I. Like
whoa.
cause we submitted a story to them, and like a 1-page like treatment, and they're like, no, they rejected it, but then they gave it to the writer and said, hey, write something like this. And so he basically
Stop
wrote based
it.
off our treatment, and he didn't know though. They just probably told him, hey, we want a story like this, and I'm like,
Yeah, paint okay.
yeah. So then they owed me $3,000, declared bankruptcy, but then they did finally pay me only because of the option.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I don't know. They contacted me again, but they wanted me to try out, like do some page to try out for a book, and I'm like, no, I don't try out anymore. I already work for you guys. I'm not gonna do another tryout.
Yeah, it's so funny when DC contacted me about an Aquaman and Mira book a couple years ago.
Yeah.
The editor's just like, hey, what do you think about this? I was like, send me the script. I was like, I'll get started right away. And he's like, well, no. He's like, we want to try you out for like 2 months while the deadline counts down too. So like, I'm losing time on the deadline while they're trying me out. And I was so naive. I didn't know how any of that worked. I just told the dude, I was like, send me the script, and I'll have it sketched up right away. I don't know.
What did
Yeah, man,
they mean by tryout? Because back in my day when we tried out, they would send me they'd do paid tryouts.
Well, they didn't. No, I definitely did not get paid for the tryout. But it's so funny. They never said try out. Like the guy said, I want to get you on this book, and then but he didn't say, and he never said tryout. But it just ended up turning into a tryout. It was just the weirdest situation I've ever been in. I still don't even know what happened.
Who
was
was
it?
it?
Axel Alonso?
I can tell you. I can look up the dude's name. But I failed the tryout spectacularly. And
I screwed up my chance at Marvel because I was talking to Axel Alonso on the phone, and he wanted to get me on a book, and I was like just started doing stuff with humanoids, so I was kind of like, nah, after I'm finished with this, maybe we'll try something with you guys. And then I was like, looking back, I'm like, man, I should have went with Marvel, but probably would have put me on a totally different trajectory anyway. So
yeah, and
But-
ultimately the guy said, he's like, yeah, well, because the Aquaman movie was coming out and it was a hot time, and so he said it kind of just fell apart because there were too many cooks in the kitchen, and is what his words, and it just turned into this whole cluster.
Yeah.
It just ended up getting put off and moved around and changed hands. So I think even the editor who was scouting me at the time was just like, yeah, I'm not even on that editor on that book anymore. So said it was a wacky mess.
yeah, editors, man, they're like transient, man. They go from book company to company, and they're never around for too long. It seems like, at least.
It didn't used to be like that.
Yeah.
When everything was in New York and it was all centralized, it was really pretty consistent.
You want to know what one of the weirdest situations is and I hope I'm not like blacklisting myself by giving this information, but not too long ago, I was doing a cover for the Street Fighter and Ninja Turtles book that they had come out.
Oh yeah.
Summer of last year or something like
you're
that.
doing homework.
Anyways, did a cover for issue 1, and the guy who was coordinating the retailer variant that I was doing for this other guy, he was basically, it wasn't his full-time job. He's like, this is my part-time job. I don't get paid anything to do this. I have a day job. He's like, I could barely forward your emails to the proper people in order to get this thing run. It was, yeah, and he was doing it. He was working part-time for IDW, coordinating variant covers for him. It was such a wacky situation.
Jeez, man.
And it almost didn't happen, and stuff actually didn't happen because they're just pulling people off the street to forward emails back and forth to get these things coordinated. It was really weird. I don't know if any of that made sense, but I barely can understand what happened to myself.
Yeah.
And know what I hate is when I showed stuff to editors who used to be editors at Marvel, like in the 80s and 90s, and they were like, if I was still editor, I'd hire you. I go, well, that doesn't really do me any good. I'm like, thanks
How
a lot.
benevolent of you, sir.
I could have got work years ago if I was actually good enough back then. It's like, man.
I remember I just thought it was a funny response. I sent samples. This was after I was working at IM Storm for about a year, and then I was sending samples around, and I sent some to, gosh, was it Tom Brevoort? I forget. It was some Marvel editor or DC editor. No, it was a DC editor. Steve Wacker, maybe? I forget. But I sent it to him, and then I emailed him, and he emailed me back, who are you?
Look, I'm taking my 3D assets and I'm perspectifying them. I think it looks cooler like that. It looks like it's actually coming at you, son.
That's well perspected.
Yeah. Check it out. Take a snapshot. Trace it.
Well, then I'm going to send you some of my blank covers to do.
Hook me up.
He takes crypto.
Oh, that's cool. You put your name in there.
I kind of did. It's a silly mess.
You can see it.
I tried some McFarlane webbage. That's
I can see it, Weldon. I can see it.
You're such a sweetheart. Thanks. I wasn't gonna say anything, but I think it's done. I want to put the little spider webs on her fingers like Peter Parker, but her suit doesn't do that. I'm kind of just sad about it.
That's good.
I think it's done.
That makes me
Look at those hips.
Heck yeah, son.
Weldon pictures every woman with birthing hips. That's what
No, I remember seeing, what was it, not too long ago? I remember seeing this skeletons at this museum, and they put might have been a full-size bowling ball. I could be wrong. And it could not go through the male hips, but it could go through the female hips. Yes. And I was like, good Lord. That is freaking strange.
That's a big hip woman.
She's a big hippin' woman.
Have you ever been to like a live, what's that human museum, the traveling human museum? What was it?
With all the dead,
the Chinese
worlds
prisoners
or something like that. It was a decade or two ago when they were torn. Anyways, you think a skeleton is bigger than it is, but skeletons are tiny. Oh, all right. Now here's the
I'm gonna be wrapping up here in a second.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I gotta do a little remark in white pen on this thing. I gotta draw, what's that freaking Mondo Gecko? Someone paid $50 to get this sent to Mother Russia.
Mother Russia. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Russia, man.
Rhaegar says it's not a drawing session party till Matt Weldon is drawing pregnant chicks.
You wanna see some pregnant chicks?
He has a secret fetish.
No, I don't. I just What's
Oh my gosh! Look, he disappeared while the camera was off him.
Elliot? So stealthy. You want to see something I was pretty
Stealth
proud
mode.
of?
Sure. I do
Let
have
me
to wrap up
show
pretty quick.
you. Yeah, I'm down. You can shut it down anytime.
I just want to show Matt's stuff.
Oh, crap.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Oh, by the way,
That's
I'm
awesome,
putting
bro.
up this for sale online too. Or if anyone's interested in it, you can message me. Well, I want to sell this too. Need to make some money for bills.
Freaking glorious. Freaking magnifico. Oh, where's that
Put it apart.
spawn drawing I just did? Oh, here it is. Look, I was so happy with how I did her rib cage. I like those guns, man. Those pistolas, Matt. Dang it. So many
Thanks.
people cannot draw revolvers well, and that looks awesome.
Thanks. I always try to get references for my guns because, except for this one, I think I made this one up, but I try to get references because I'm like, man, I can't draw guns from memory, so I definitely have to have reference, and I want it to look right.
I made this one up.
Oh,
Oh,
that's cool.
Mac 10 with a folding stock? What? Or is that a Uzi? That's
I said I made
awesome.
it up.
See, I noticed on that spawn draw contest, people were making up revolvers, and I'm like, dude, just get a picture of a cowboy revolver and use it. They're making up
Yeah,
they're like a block of wood with a pipe sticking out of it. I was like,
that's. Are you gonna keep it red?
No.
I'm pretty pissed. I didn't put a freaking revolver in here anywhere.
Dang it.
it could
Matt,
be one of theirs. You
screwed
can't
up.
see it.
Look at these Look
Man.
at her ribs on this, and then
I like all those bullets, man, too.
I tried hard on this.
I know, I could tell, man. Yeah, I like how you kept it clean. Like her, she's really clean, and then everything else is super detailed, like shadows and everything.
Yeah, I wanted to darken her leg. I actually am glad I didn't because I forgot that I think there's spikes on this leg too, so I might have to go back and add them, and I might darken this up too. I might actually go full black on this, and if they come back to me and tell me, yeah, there's spikes, I might darken this whole leg. But you're right, I didn't want to darken the leg too much and have it just
it stands out.
Be
well, I noticed some people didn't draw spikes like on the actual covers. Her outfit kind of varies; it changes from artist to artist. You know.
Yeah, that's super true. Like bullets were a lot easier than you might think. But the weirdest part was whenever I would go in and I would start like really thinking about drawing a shade of a bullet on another bullet, like right there, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. And I did that a lot more than I wanted to, but like shading, under bullets. But it was super fun. The hardest part was these just took me because I wanted to get them. I wanted to get them so right. I wanted to like really.
Yeah, that's like a centerpiece almost right there.
This was all a lot easier than you might think. It was just a mess of bullets, but
that's time. So, that's to me, that's the time element is the big element because I lose interest in my drawings if I take too long.
But aren't your primers inset a little too deep?
Primer?
I don't know.
Aren't primers flush?
They might be a little flush, but I don't think they're super deep in there. I mean, I was just trying to get dramatic with the lighting, bro. Goodness.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows except how cool it looks. Dude,
I mean, you might be right, but I think
your business says yes, so he's familiar.
I don't think some are different. I've probably seen some others that they're maybe not exactly flush, but I don't think they're exactly inset either. But it just depends on
Matt,
the brand.
You cannot take critique at all.
No, I think you're right. You might be right, but
come on, Eric July, calm down.
I just if there some that I was referencing when I was looking at this, I saw them inset, but I don't think they're that much inset. They're pretty flush from all the reference.
No, I gotta say, man, when I saw your cover, I was like, I gotta really go all out of mine. So I actually changed what I was gonna do.
I saw yours, man. I saw yours today, actually.
I changed it because I saw all that detail. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta do something. So I'm like, I was gonna do some simple, like one single character cover, and I'm like, can't do that now.
The weirdest part.
Where we breed the competition.
No, I tell you, man, the drawing with you guys has been the best. thing in my life. But yeah, this was fun. I hope I thought about getting it colored or asking someone to color it, but I'm
Yeah,
not
what are
gonna
you
do
doing
that.
with it?
Well, I mean, if it gets picked, I'll get it colored, but I doubt. I'm not really expecting it to get picked. There's some really good ones.
Dude, there's some insane ones. I just looked at it and I was like, crap. I'm like, there's some crazy. Keenan White did some too.
The only
Right, bud.
reason,
We love you, Elliot. Have a good night's sleep. We're gonna nope out here in a
Really?
second, anyways.
yeah, we're not. I'm
gonna go watch. We're watching Love Is Blind Sweden.
I found one. I was looking for other ones.
Oh, sweet, 301. Send it my way.
I got some other ones, but I can't find them. I think I got them packed up. But I know I got a few others.
He takes crypto.
I take whatever.
That's all I'm saying. He takes crypto.
Maybe I'll.
J Dollar has crypto.
Oh, that's right.
Canadian pesos.
I got a peso collection because I used to go to Mexico quite a bit before COVID, and we're actually going to go in December.
You go to Mexico?
Yeah.
Man, I wouldn't step foot in that place.
No,
Okay,
I mean,
now that we're talking about Mexico again, I'm gonna wrap up this stream.
Yeah.
All right.
How did
Hey.
we get all circled?
All right. Next time
Tomorrow.
we'll continue. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll do it
Tomorrow we'll figure out how to save the industry. I actually have a plan, but I'm not sure I want to tell everyone. You ever do that? Like when you're a kid, you like do comic book hands and then draw them, right?
Oh, dude, yeah, I love
Yeah.
doing comic book hands.
This one. Or the John Byrne.
What is on your finger?
I like drawing the limp wrist.
Oh, it's
and
a stent. Or
Who
not
did
a
you
stent,
slap?
my son hit me with
Slap
a
your son.
Huh?
Nothing.
you smoked your son.
He broke his finger.
No,
on
we
his
were
thumbs
playing
because-
broom ball at the ice rink, and I was being the goalie, an unstoppable wall against all the balls that were coming at me, and my son took a swing and smacked my knuckle with his broom.
Oof.
I remember one day we were playing kung fu on my bed with like my neighbor. Like remember when you were
John
young,
Burnham?
you would freaking fight on your bed and everything.
Yeah.
And
Brett Booth hands.
going like this, and then he kicked, and then all of a sudden my pinky finger is
crap.
that
No.
way.
Oh, yikes, bro.
Oh, it was terrible. And all my mom did was just like tape it to the other finger.
Oh my
I'm
God.
actually getting fairly adept at this. I'm drawing faster, and I'm touch typing again, and it's like I've just kind of gotten used to not having that finger.
It's gonna be weird when you have to, if you ever get
Yeah.
it removed.
Diabetes.
I can remove it.
I mean, that's the goal, right? Is to
So are you just? Why are you wearing it? What? I don't.
Because when I go like this, it hurts.
Is it
And
pretty?
I do
swollen?
it worse than that, it hurts really bad.
Well, what are you gonna? How do you come out of this?
Well,
Yeah, how are you
I
gonna save
assume at
yourself?
some point it will heal, and then I will stop wearing
Is
it.
it?
And then I
Is
will have
it
to
like inflammation? Like I remember getting a
I mean,
jammed finger
see how
in
much thicker
basketball.
it is?
Goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is weird whenever I get a jammed finger in
Swollen.
basketball and it's hard to bend, like because the skin is
Well,
just
that's the
so.
weird thing. Okay, so
fat.
he smacked it, and I knew it hurt. Right, it hurt like it thickens right away. But I kept using it. I was able to use it for like almost a month, about a month, and then suddenly it started getting worse, and I'm like, this isn't healing. Whatever, if it was a fracture or a whatever, it's not healing. And I figured it was not healing because I kept using it. So I was like, I should probably get a splint for it. So
Secretly, his bone is like leaking bone marrow into his blood system.
That's unfortunate.
yeah, that's what bone marrow is supposed to do. All right,
All right,
anybody,
tomorrow night.
anybody, thanks. And we'll see you on Drawn and Quartered tomorrow night with another episode of You Choose, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
All right, let's
Yeah.
do it. God bless
Later.
us, everyone.
Good night.
Have a good
everyone.
night.
Good night, everybody.